Welcome everybody, it's Turbo Terramino here, and today's a great day because we are going to do something completely different and something really new. I have everything like backwards on my screen, so I'm looking in this direction instead of normally looking in this direction. But yeah, so I'm going to be building a character sheet that I've been needing to build for quite some time in Dungeons and Dragons. So let's just get straight to it. Now, currently I am playing in a campaign where, let me see if I can pull up my current character sheet. So, this is my current character sheet that I'm playing. Now, the campaign that we're playing is called, oh, let me put some music in the background. So, like, this isn't just like awkward, like, night chat. Let me know how the audio levels are. I don't want it to be too loud, but just some like stuff in the background. I'm currently playing as a monk in the jungles of Chult. Now, our DM has made it pretty much clear that there is a very high chance that this may be a TPK, a total party kill, when we get to the end of it. So what I've done is I've mentally created a backup character. So I want to build the backup character's character sheet so that I have it for worst case scenario. So if we want to try to ease into the character sheet, the character that I'm currently playing now, his name is Vaxis. He is a Warforge. At the time when I created the character, they didn't drop the Eberron book yet, so I went with the Envoy, so we're leaving it as is. I am currently level 6. He's neutral good with a hermit background. He's Way of the Open Hand, and these are my stats right now. I've got proficiency at a +3. I currently have inspiration that I haven't used yet. I have strength and dexterity saving throws. I'm also good at acrobatics and stealth. I'm proficient, I should say, as well as with the insight as well. And then I think with the hermit background, I'm good with proficient with religion and medicine. So one of the perks of being a Warforged at the time, again, now things have changed as of a few weeks ago when the Eberron book just came out. They changed some things, so my languages are Common, Celestial, and Elvish, simple weapons and martial weapons, herbalism kit, and then I've got two poisonous kits, so it's like a proficiency ×2 for my poisonous kit. So I mostly focus on unarmed strikes. I don't use monk weapons at all. And then for ranged, I use blow darts. With the Warforged, the blow darts are actually integrated into your body. So out of the palm of the left hand of Vaxis, out shoots a blow dart. Also in his left hand, a tool is integrated, which would be my poisoner's kit. So that's where I craft and store my most of my active poisons. So because I have unarmored defense, I have my dexterity. I think it's my dexterity plus my wisdom. +10 gives me 17 armor class, which is AC. Initiative is +4, which is my dexterity modifier. My speed is 40. I'll be getting an increase soon. Oh, I forgot to add 5. Oh, shoot. Your speed increases by 10. It started at 30, so it went to 40 when you're not wearing armor or wielding a shield. This bonus increases to 15 feet at 6th level, which I'm 6th level now. I forgot to actually add that. Then 20 feet at 10th level. So let's save that. Good thing we take a look at that. Yes, replace. Okay. Hit points 46. I think I'm doing pretty well. I think the next ability score modifier I get is going to be, I want to say, level 8. We can actually take a look here too. Okay. So right now we're at 6 levels, so our proficiency is 3. We have a 1d6 for our rolls, for our attack rolls. We have 6 key points. That's fine. Yeah, I chose acrobatics and stealth for this one. I should have chose history, but it's whatever. So an armor defense, 10 plus your dexterity plus your wisdom, which is that 7. What was I looking for? Ability score modifiers. Level 8. Ability score improvement at level 8. So I wouldn't be able to add it until I get to 2 more levels. And at that rate, I'm just going to pump it into dexterity. I'll have a +5 initiative. My AC is going to go up by 1. And that's about as high as I'm going to get as an AC. And I currently have this necklace, which was Charm of Restoration. It had 6 charges. You can use an action to spend some of its charges to cast one of the following spells: Greater Restoration 4 charges or Lesser Restoration 2 charges. Once all the charges have been expended, the charm will vanish. I got it from some sprite in the jungles of Cholt. And I used Greater Restoration to heal a party member from petrification when we were fighting a really bad Medusa, which was almost a TPK. That was one of the scariest battles I ever fought. And then Monk Insight basically is something that I don't know if it was homebrew from my DM, but basically I can automatically hit the enemy without having to roll. So I got a lot of stuff in my backpack and my storage. I still have this random displacer whip, which I probably should get rid of. Herbalism stuff. I've got a Morning Dew and Wolfsbane to craft eventually. The Zabado mushroom. I just got 16 cinderberries. I have dream tincture, a lot of those, which will cause hallucinations, visions, and sounds. Basic poison, wyvern poison, and yes, I crafted midnight tears. I unfortunately just wasted my serpent's poison. Yeah, that's a very long story. 6 black orchids, which will help us with the Aarakocra do a ritual that'll allow us to fly for 3 days. So we're withholding on that. And Vaxis is really interested in learning about books. So I've got Sailing for Dummies. A lot of these are homebrew. We got Volo's Monster Guide, which my DM actually has. History of Cholt, Field Guide to Herbs. A joke book, which I actually fill out my own jokes and I give them to the team once in a while. A book about gods, basic edition. What's wrong with you? Understanding emotions, because he's learning about emotions. And then this journal from this guy named Vorn, who used a shield guardian, this traveling wizard. But we need a control amulet in order to control the shield guardian, so we're holding on that. And this is a bunch of my other stuff. Grappling hook, raincatcher, salves for insect repellent, stuff like that. So that's Vaxis. He's he is a composite plating warforge monk with 0 charisma, because this boy is stiff. Okay, so I wanted to build this new character that I created as a backup. His name is Zygon. Now, Zygon is a special character that I randomly created, but eventually I Googled and I was like, well, I told my DM and I was like, well, I want to create a farmer, because I can do a decent farmer accent, and I can do it for a long period of time, and I can do it forever and ever, and I ain't got no issues about doing and talking like this, because I can do it without breaking any character, and I can just keep on going and going and going. So I was like, that will be fine. I can do something like that, right? And that's fine. I thought my hair was cut off, but it's just all messed up right now. And I was like, but I want him to be more than just a farmer. I want him to be like, I want people to like look at him and be like, you lowly serf, but he's really like all powerful. So I looked at a bunch of different races, and I found Aasimar, or Aasimar, and it's a celestial race. I don't think I have it up here. I don't. Let's see. So I have it up here. So actually the Aasimar are humans with a significant amount of celestial and other outsider blood in their ancestry. So I was like, well, let me create a farmer celestial being. So let's talk about Zygon. Zygon is... I had some of these things pre-filled out, and then I removed a lot of it so we can go over it together this evening. And I can get your guys' help on a bunch of spells because I'm really new on that. He's going to be 33 years of age. He's about 5'7". He's basically my age and my height. 175, not my weight. Distinguishing marks, none. He just has a really thick accent. He's got really deep blue eyes. Pinkish tan skin. It looks like it's reddened by the sun a little bit. He's got dirty blonde hair. It's really, really like golden blonde. And you can't tell by looking at him if it's just his natural, like dirty blonde hair that's coming through, or if it's really just a bunch of caked on dirt and mud. He doesn't have any scars. He's pretty clean. He has, like a stubble facial hair, and I don't think I don't have it up. Let's pause this and let's actually move this over here. So, what was I saying? So that's what he looks like. So, Zygon's backstory. He likes to talk in the third person. So he likes to say, Zygon did a good job at doing this. What did Zygon ever do to deserve this? Stuff like that, right? It's going to be so hard to do that, but I figured that'll be funny. So this is his simple background. He's a simple man. My mom and pa left the farm to go to the market one day and put Zygon in charge of the farm. That was over 20 years ago. Zygon sure when mom and pa come back, they'll be so proud of Zygon for taking care of the farm when they were gone. So Zygon was told by his mom and pa to take care of his small little farm while they went to a market. They never came back. And Zygon just continued to obey his mom and pa and continued to till and work the farm, sell the goods. You know, the people would come up and visit the farm. He would offload goods. They'd keep them flowing with new seeds. It always come to be like, you give stuff, you get stuff back. You never leave the farm. He can't leave the farm. He was the only one there. So he tended to the farm for the last 20 years, still waiting for mom and pa to come home. But boy, they're sure going to be proud of Zygon when mom and pa come home and see how well the farm's doing. So I rolled a few things. I did the initial rolls and I placed them where I wanted. So I had a 12, which I placed in strength, a dexterity, which I had 3 15s, dexterity, which I put into dexterity, constitution, and intelligence, wisdom, and 4, and then charisma is a 14. So I want him to really be good because he's going to be a druid in regards to his class. I want him to be good at like more like survival and stuff like that. Like backwoodsy type kind of a guy. So when I was creating this character, I did it for a level 1. But we're actually at level 6. My DM said that we can, if a new character comes in, as long as it's not endgame, if we all get wiped out at endgame, that's just like game over. That's the end of the campaign. So if we can, say if somebody dies, so say if Vaxis dies. Vaxis right now is at 18,861. She said we would probably drop about 500 experience, and that's when we would come in. Unless if the difference was, say, I was at 23,100 experience, I would just have I'd have Zygon come in at 2,300 experience. So he's going to be level 6. I should probably move this up to 23,000 for the next level. So I know proficiency jumps to 3, so let's look at Druid. Ranger. Fighter. Here we go. So here's Druid. Holding high a gnarled staff wreathed in holly, an elf summons the fury of the storm and calls down explosive bolts of lightning to smite and torch-carrying orcs who threaten her forest. Crouching out of sight in a tree branch in the form of a leopard, a human peers out of the jungle on a strange construction of a temple of evil elemental air, keeping a close eye on the cultivist's activities. Swinging a blade formed of pure fire, a half-elf charges into the masked skeleton horde, surrendering an unnatural magic that gives the foul creatures the mocking semblance of life. Whether calling in elemental forces of nature or emulating the creatures of the animal world, druids are the embodiment of nature's resilience, cunning, and fury. They claim no mastery over nature. Instead, they see themselves as extensions of nature's indomitable will. So this is what he's going to be. The power of nature. Druids revere nature above all, gaining their spells and other magical powers from either the force of nature itself or from a nature deity. Many druids pursue mystical spirituality of transcendent union with the nature rather than devotion to a divine entity, while others serve gods of wild nature, animals, or elemental forces. The ancient druidic traditions are some called the Old Faith in contrast to the worship of gods in temples and shrines. Druid spells are oriented toward nature and animals, the power of tooth and claw, of sun and moon, of fire and storm. Druids also gain the ability to take on animal forms, and some druids make particular study of this practice, even to the point where they prefer animal form to their natural form. Preserve the balance. For druids, nature exists. Okay, so we're going to be level 6. So we're going to already have a +3 to our proficiency bonus. So let's add that now, which is here. Next, we're going to have a druidic circle feature. We'll get to that later. We're going to have 3 cantrips. Let's see if this mentions it. So we have... I put this stuff down here. Let me just remove these for now. I'll leave those probably. So 3 cantrips. 4 first level, 3 second, 3 third. So we're going to have all 4 and all of these filled. Okay. Now where I'm really going to need help with is spells. Because for my first campaign, I played a fighter. For this campaign, I'm playing a monk. So I don't have that much experience in spells. Alright, so from there, we should, let's see, class features. Let's look at quick build. You can make a druid quickly by following these suggestions. First, wisdom should be your highest ability score, followed by constitution. Second, choose the hermit background. I feel that it's more important for me to focus more on role-playing than it is min-maxing, which means get the biggest bang for your buck. So I'm doing what I think makes most sense with Zygon. I want him to be extremely charismatic, unbeknownst to him. He doesn't have a lot of interaction with other people. Obviously, his wisdom's going to be high because I want his survival to be high. I want his animal handling to be high. Probably his medicine as well. Like, if I can get pretty much all of this area, like, proficient, that would be great. I mean, nature would be good, too. Maybe investigation. We'll get down to it in regards to proficiencies, but yeah, this probably yeah. So we'll figure it out. All right. So hit dice is going to be 1d8 per druid level. Hit points at first level is going to be 8 plus your constitution modifier. So naturally, just because our con is 2, we're going to start off with 10 hit points. I should probably actually grab my dice set so I can actually roll for the other levels of hit points. 1 second. Okay. Just so everyone can see, this is my little D&D case. I got all my stuff in there, my extra dice, my notepad, my potion, my Vaxis mini, some pencils. Dice tray. And some dice. So I'm going to be doing a 1d8. These are the dice that I currently use for Vaxis. They're gold. Let me get closer on the screen here. They're like this gold and purple on the inside, gold on the outside. Metal dice. I love metal dice. So we're going to be rolling a d8, which means it's going to be a die with 8 sides. And I got one right here. It's preferable that you don't roll something like a metal die on a metal or a wooden table. You'll mess it up. So we're going to be rolling this 5 times. And we're going to calculate every one of these. Let me grab my calculator. So we're going to be doing this 5 times, and then we're going to be adding our constitution modifier. Well, should we do this now? Let's hold off on HP, now that I think about it, because if I roll now, I might forget to add some extra constitution, because it's at a 15. So if I end up taking my ability score movement from level 4, I might get more HP. So but I might choose to take a feat because his stats are really high. So let's keep going through the class features first. So I'm proficient in light armor, medium armor, shields. Druids will not wear armor using shields made of metal. So while I am good at simple weapons, light armor, medium armor, and shields, since he's a druid, he cannot be using any metal. on those. So saving throws are going to be intelligence and wisdom. Intelligence and wisdom. So these are our saving throws. Herbalism kit, which I think I already have down here. So you have an herbalism kit. I think I also get an herbalism kit for being a hermit background. Weapons, clubs, daggers, darts, javelins, maces, quarterstaffs, scimitars, sickles, slings, spears. We'll remember that when we get to weaponry, because I'll need help with that too. Okay. Skills. You can choose 2 from Arcana, Animal Handling, Insight, Medicine, Nature, Perception, Religion, and Survival. So what's important here is Survival's probably good in Animal Handling. So let's put this down for now as an example. So survival in Animal Handling. But what we also want to check up on is the hermit background. Because, let's see, the hermit already has a skills proficiency of medicine and religion and has the herbalism kit. So we want to do medicine and religion. Medicine and religion. So let's take those back off. Languages of your choice. I think I selected Celestial. Obviously Druidic because I'm going to be a Druid. And then Common. Equipment. I already added the equipment. Added 5 GP. I'll roll for GP again. And none of this stuff really is too important, in my opinion. I'd rather RP everything than pick something like a flaw or a bond and have to like stick to that particular thing. I'd rather just make it up. Alright, so since we got that, let's go back to Druid. That's a whole other thing too, Druidic focuses and stuff. Oh boy, where are we? We need to go back up. Here we go. We landed right on it. Okay. So, saving throws, intelligence, wisdom we still have. Then they want us to choose between 2. Arcana, animal handling, insight, medicine. We don't need medicine. We don't need religion. So there's nature, there's survival, there's animal handling. I can take out perception and insight just from now. But trying to think of Zygon being on the farm all alone, animal handling, nature, and survival. I have to knock one of those out. He can survive. I'm going to say survival and animal handling. Being able to commune and communicate with animals, I think, is probably his out as not speaking to a lot of people and being able to survive on his own. Nature comes with the game, but still, I think that's more important. Because it's like, duh, nature, he's a druid, right? So survival and animal handling. Survivor and animal handling. More wisdom. Alright, equipment. You start with the following equipment, and I could use one of these sections. So, a wooden shield, or a simple weapon, a scimitar, or any simple melee weapon, leather armor, an explorer's pack, and a druidic focus. We'll get to that stuff later, because, you know, druidic, it's the secret language of druids. You and others who know this language automatically spot such a message. Spellcasting. Chapter 10. Cantrips. At first level, you'll know 2 cantrips of your choice from the druidic spell list. You learn additional druid cantrips of your choice at higher levels, as shown in the cantrips known in column on the druidic table. Okay. Here's another one. We're jumping here, but preparing casting, that's fine. That's an example down there. Example. You can change your list of prepared spells when you finish a long rest. Preparing a new list of Druid spells requires time spent in prayer and meditation, at least 1 minute per spell level for each spell on your list. Wisdom is your spellcasting ability for your Druid spells, so we're going to be using our Wisdom modifier. Since your magic draws upon your devotion to attunement to nature, use your Wisdom whenever a spell refers to your spellcasting ability. In addition, to use your Wisdom modifier when setting and saving throw DC. Okay, so our spell save DC is going to be 8 plus proficiency plus Wisdom modifier. Spell save DC 8 proficiency Wisdom. Spell save DC 8 proficiency, which is 3, so it's 11. Plus Wisdom modifier 15. Our attack spell modifier is our proficiency bonus plus our Wisdom modifier. So it's going to be a 7. That's 4 plus 3. So it's 7. It's basically what we add to our rolls if we roll. So our hit dice increases to 6 because we're going to be level 6. Hit dice 1d8 per your Druid level, so that's right. Be still a d8 for our hit dice. Now, okay, let's just keep going. I tend to get a little ahead of myself. So let's see. Ritual casting. You can cast a druid spell as a ritual. Yeah. Spellcasting focus. You can use a druidic focus found in Chapter 5 as a spellcasting focus for your druid spells. And then there's this whole wild shape thing. So what we're going to try to do for Zygon, there's a couple different paths that we can go, right? As a druid. So there's you pick the class of druid, and there's different druidic circles. So one of the more important ones that a lot of people like to select is, let's see if they have it here, Circle of the Moon. People love being able to turn into different animals. And each animal, beast, or monster has a particular challenge rating. And those challenge ratings equate to what you can turn into. So when you're at more of a lower level, you turn into smaller animals. And as you gain more and more levels, you can start to turn into bigger beasts. When you choose Circle of the Moon, you actually get a jump on that. So you get to actually turn into bigger things. So when you choose this circle at 2nd level, you gain the ability to wild shape on your turn as a bonus action rather than an action. Additionally, when you are transformed into wild shape, you can use a bonus action to expend 1 spell slot to regain 1d8 hit points per level of the spell slot expanded, which is great. So I feel that because Zygon is going to be an Aasimar for his race, which means that he's going to have the ability to sprout wings on his back and turn into a celestial form, I think that having a also going into animal forms a lot may not be, it'll be weird. Like, I don't know. I think it shouldn't be the main focus. I think it should be the secondary focus. I think that when Zygon goes crazy into his Aasimar celestial form, I think that should be like the oh my gosh, not versus like he's going into a bear. You know what I mean? So I figured I could pick Circle of the Land, which is the other druidic circle. Now I don't have Pathfinders or anything like that. I have some pieces of information that my DM has. She's got all the actual books at her place. I have some digital data, but I don't have everything. So Circle of the Land is one I was looking at. It comes with a bunch of different chunks of area. So you've got Circle of the Land. You can choose the Arctic, the coast, the desert, the forest, grasslands, mountains, swamp, and the Underdark. And each of them have different spells that you end up gaining at particular levels. Like, for example, Underdark. At 3rd level, you can learn Spider Climb and Web. 5th level, Gaseous Form and Stinking Cloud. If we're doing Swamp, there's Darkness, Melf's Acid Arrow for 3rd. 5th, Water Walk, Stinking Cloud. Forest is Bark Skin, Spider Climb. Call Lightning, Plant Growth. Which I think Forest is the good one. Let's see, Coast. Mirror Image, Misty Step, Water Breathing, Water Walk. Control Water, Freedom of Movement, and Arctic when it makes sense. Especially if we were going to be... If I was going to pop up in Cholt, we're nixing any type of ice part of the story. So Arctic is out. Alright, so I guess let's just start filling things in, and then we can always go back and change things. So let's do this. We're still missing an ability score modifier. Now, I probably should go check feats before I fill these things out, just so I'm 100%. Let's do that. I haven't even looked into multi-classing. I don't even know if that's something I want to do. Feats. Take me there. Alright. So let's look at some of these feats and let's see if it would be something that would make sense to have as a character for Zygon. And then also what actually would be good to have. So there's Alert. You gain a +5 to your bonus initiative, which means that would turn his initiative to, because it would be his dex modifier, it would be a 2, right? So right now it's a +2. We can always change that. But if I got a Alert instead of the increase in ability score, I would be 5 + 2, so it would be 7, which would be extremely high. You can't be surprised while you're conscious. Other creatures don't gain advantage on attack rolls against you as a result of being hidden from you, which means that if they try to ambush us, they can't ambush Zygon. Athlete. Increase your strength or dexterity score by 1 to a maximum of 20. We can't exceed 20. When you're prone, standing up uses 5 feet of your movement. Climbing does not have your speed. You can make a running long jump or a running high jump after moving 5 feet on foot rather than 10 feet. I feel like I'm jumping all over the place, but I just remembered with an Azamar, your ability score increase, your charisma increases by 2. And then I'm picking Protector Azamar because it makes the most sense. Your wisdom increases by 1. So let's add that to our score already before we touch anything else. So wisdom increases by 1. Which is great. Charisma increases by 2, so it's 16. So that increases my modifier to 3. Every 2 it'll go up. So if I went to 18, this would be a 4. 19 still stays a 4, but if I hit 20, this will be a 5, and that's maxed out. So, say if I were to get the ability score modifier of 2, that I can put into either 2 into 1 category, or I can split it up 1 and 1. Realistically, what I could do is any one of these 3. I would obviously put 1 into wisdom. It just makes most sense. Max it out. So I'd have 1 left, which I can flip one of these 15s to a 16 and turn one of these 2s to a 3. So that's something. Because say, for example, my saving throw here, which means I'm proficient in it, it would be a +4, plus my proficiency +3. So when I would roll this, and they said, hey, Zygon, make a wisdom saving throw, a roll of 10, it would be a +7, so it would be a 17. So that's how that would work. But let's look at the feats before we think about adding ability score modifiers in, to see if anything looks good to replace that. Because we get the ability scores, I want to say, does it say it on my sheet? It probably won't. Yeah, I don't think this one does. Yeah, this one doesn't. Druid's up here somewhere. Wizard. That's a monk. I saw the Kai. Yeah. Eldritch Knight. Fighter. We're getting close. Here we go. Druid. Ability score improvement. When you reach 4th level, and then again at 8th, 12th, 16th, and 19th, you can increase one ability score of your choice by 2, or you increase 2 ability scores by your choice by 1. As normal, you can increase your ability score above 20 using this feature. Additionally, you can ignore the verbal and somniac components of Druidic spells. Okay, cool. Alright, so let's go back to feats. Just want to make sure that's good before I continue on looking at these feats. Okay. Actor. You increase your charisma score by 1. You have advantage on deception and performance, which is great. Checks when trying to pass yourself off as a different person. Well, Zygon would be so interested in keeping himself Zygon that he wouldn't want to do that. You can mimic speech, so that one's probably out. Charger. When you use your action to dash, you can use a bonus action and a melee weapon. Probably not. Crossbow expert. It's not going to use a crossbow. Defensive duelist. When you're wielding a finesse weapon. Prerequisite, you got to have 13 or higher in a dexterity. Probably not defensive duelist. Dual wielder, probably not either. You're a master fighter with 2 weapons. It's not something that he would be doing. Dungeon delver. You're alert to hidden traps and secret doors found in many dungeons. You gain the following benefits. You advantage on wisdom perception and intelligence investigation checks when made to detect the presence of secret doors. So that would be only if I was looking for secret doors. You have advantage on saving throws made to avoid or resist traps. That's good. You have resistance to the damage dealt by traps, which means you would take half damage. You search for traps while traveling at a normal pace instead of a slow pace. So that's not terrible. Does that fit Zygon's backstory? Probably not. But that is decent to have. Durable. You're hardy and resilient and gain the following benefits. Increase your constitution score by 1, which is great because that would round up to 16. When you roll a hit die, regain hit points. The maximum number of hit points you regain from the roll equals twice your constitution modifier. So if I were to use a hit die and I rolled a 4, I would go and I would add my constitution modifier. In this case, it would switch up to +3, so that 3 would then become a 6 when I use. So it'd be 6 plus 4, which would be 10. Honestly, right now, I don't use hit die that often, so I'd probably say meh to that. Elemental Inept. When you gain this feat, choose one of the following damage types: acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder. Spells you cast ignore resistance to damage of the chosen type. In addition, when you roll damage for a spell you cast that deals damage of that type, you can treat any one on damage die as a 2. So like if you roll a 1, it's just going to be a 2 instead. Like if I did like thunder, for example. You can select this feat multiple times. Each time you do, you must choose a different damage type. That's interesting. Acid. I don't feel that. So basically you just become resistant to a particular chosen type. And then when you roll that particular type of damage, at least you don't goose egg on 1. Grappler. Probably not. You have advantage on attack rolls. Great Weapon Master. Probably not. Healer. Okay, let's read this one. You're an able physician, allowing you to mend wounds quickly and get your allies back into the fight. You gain the following benefits. When you use your healer's kit to stabilize a dying creature, the creature also regains 1 hit point. So that way they're just not stabilized. They actually have 1 hit point. As an action, you can spend 1 use of your healer's kit to tend to a creature and restore 1d6 plus 4 hit points to it, plus additional hit points equal to the creature's maximum number of hit die. So it'd be 1d6 plus 4. So if we roll and we got a 6 plus 4, so that'd be 10, plus additional hit points equal to the creature's maximum number of hit dice. So say if they had like 6 hit dice, that'd be a 6 plus 4 plus 10 plus 6 hit dice, that would be 16. The creature can't regain hit points from this feat again until it finishes a short or long rest. Heavily armored, we're not doing that. Inspiring Leader. You can spend 10 minutes inspiring your companions, shoring up their resolve to fight. When you do so, choose up to 6 friendly creatures, which can include yourself, within 30 feet, and see or hear you and understand you. Each creature can gain temporary hit points equal to your level plus your charisma modifier. Creature can't gain temporary hit points from this feat again until it has finished a short or long rest. That's pretty good. I need to have a 13 charisma mod, though, and I think I have 14. Yeah, I'm good. I'm 16 because of the +2 from being an Azamar. So Inspiring Leader is good. I'm going to put that in the back of my mind, and I'm going to go back to that and see if it's worth it. Keen Mind. You have a mind that can track time, direction in detail with uncanny precision. You gain the following benefits. Increase your intelligence score by 1. You always know which way is north. You always know the number of hours left before the sunrise or sunset. You can accurately recall anything you have seen or heard within the past month. That is good. And that actually makes sense to Zygon too. So these two are good. Lightly armored. No. Linguist. You have study languages and codes. Intelligence +1. You can learn 3 languages of your choice. No. I don't think that makes sense. Lucky is great. We don't need to go into that. You can basically get like 3 luck points you can re-roll. Mage Slayer. When a creature within 5 feet of you casts a spell, you can use your reaction to make a melee weapon attack against a creature. He's not going to be focused on melee attacks, so... Magic Initiate. Choose a class, Bard, Cleric, or Druid, which we are. You can learn 2 cantrips of your choice from the... It's okay. So we already have 3, because we're going to be at level 6. So, I don't know, maybe. Martial Adept. Learn 2 maneuvers of your choice. Battlemaster Fighter class. Nah. Medium armor. Mobile. You're exceptionally speedy and agile. You gain 10 feet of movement. When you use a dash action, difficult terrain doesn't cost an extra movement on your turn. No. Moderately armored. Mounted combatant. Probably not. He's either going to be flying with his celestial wings, or he's going to be the mount. Observant. Intelligence or wisdom goes up by 1. Which would be good, because that means I can max out my wisdom. You can see a creature's mouth while it is speaking a language, and you understand... Wait, hold on. Let me read that. I pasted it really wrong. If you can see a creature's mouth while it is speaking a language you understand, you can interpret what it is saying by reading its lips. You have a +5 to your passive wisdom, perception, and passive intelligence scores. Observant is good too, because I can still add 1 to my wisdom score and then max it out at 20. Also, I want him to be proficient with a pitchfork, but I don't know if I can get away with the metal part of the pitchfork as his weapon. Keep your enemies at bay within reach. While you're wielding a glaive, halberd, pike, quarter staff, other creatures provoke an opportunity attack from you when they enter your reach. So normally what would happen is when they would try to leave, we were face to face in combat, and then if they try to run away, I get an attack of opportunity. But I would also, with this feat, I would get an attack of opportunity once they came up to me or within 5 feet. If they ran like next to me to hit somebody else, I'd be able to whack them. Resilient. Increase the chosen ability score by 1. You gain a proficiency on saving throws using the chosen ability. That's it. Is there something else I want to be proficient in? I'd prefer it to be here. All that's left is perception and insight. I would like it to be nature. So if I choose resilient instead of my ability score modifier, so my ability score modifier is going to allow me to have 2 points to use, right? Which realistically it would probably be 1 here and 1 somewhere else. Probably in intelligence, to be honest. If I choose resilience, I can choose to increase my intelligence score by 1, so we'll put it as 16, so this will be a +3, and then I can be proficient in nature as well. While that stinks, I can't max out my wisdom. Wait. Haha, I found a loophole. Okay, so remember when I picked animal handling and survival, right, as my proficiency? I'm going to take survival off, and I'm going to make it nature. That was one of my druid ones, and I'll confirm that in a second. So then, with resilience, with the feat of resilience, I'm going to pick survival as my proficiency. I'm going to add +1 to my wisdom, which will increase my wisdom to a 5, and then I become proficient in survival. So let's double check that. Let's read this again. Resilient. Choose 1 ability score. You gain the following benefits. Increase the chosen ability score by 1 to increase maximum of 20. So that's where I added the 19 to a 20. You gain proficiency in saving throws. Oh, I was wrong. It's saying saving throws, which means that it would be this. I'm already proficient in that. So let's take this back down. So that's why it's important to read. So let's take nature back off. And this is what we had before we did anything. So basically what it's saying is, oh, if I add +1 to my constitution, then I would also have constitution as a saving throw, which basically, if I was proficient in the saving throw, I would add my modifier plus my proficiency. So I'm already proficient in intelligence and wisdom. If I were to say become resilient and be good at persuasion, I can add this. I'm sorry. No, I'm confusing that part. I can add this to a 17. This won't change this, but I'll be good on the saving throws. But there was already a feat up above where I think I was good at... Oh no, it was only if you're being somebody else. Okay, so none of that is good. Ritual Caster. Choose this feat to acquire a ritual book holding 2 first-level spells of your choice. Choosing one of the following classes. Yep. You must choose your spells from the class spell list. The spells you choose must have a ritual tag. The class you choose also determines your spellcasting ability for these spells. Charismas for the bard and sorcerer or warlock, wisdom for the cleric and druid, or intelligence for the wizard. If you come across a spell written form, this is a magical spell scroll or wizard spell book, you might be able to add it to your ritual book. The spell must be... So basically, the process of copying the spell into your ritual book takes 2 hours per level of the spell. Costs 50 gills per 50 gold pieces per level. The cost represents the material components. So basically what they're saying here is, say I'm a druid and I have a ritual book for, say, wizards. And I come across a wizard spell. I can spend 50 gold pieces in components like ink and paper and stuff like that and copy down the spell so that I can learn the spell. That would only be essentially used for wizards. That's fine. I'll pass. Savage Attacker, don't care. Sentinel would be great for Vaxis as my monk. Let's just read it anyway. When you hit a creature with an opportunity attack, so when it leaves my range, the creature's speed becomes 0 for the rest of the turn, which means he stops dead in his tracks. Creatures within 5 feet of you provoke an opportunity attacks from you, even if they take the disengage action before you leave. So even if they disengage, which is, it means that they're trying to avoid an attack of opportunity, they'll still get one if I had the feat. When a creature within 5 feet of you makes an attack against a target other than you, so me and a buddy is standing next to each other shoulder to shoulder, someone attacks him, I get to whack him. You use your reaction, but the problem is you only have one reaction per turn, and I like using deflect missiles. So I get to catch, like, arrows that are sent my way. So probably no for Vaxis. Sharpshooter, no. Tavern Brawler, no. Shield Master, no. Skilled, you gain a proficiency in any combination of 3 skills or tools of your choice. Guys, I think that one's it. I'm going to probably settle on Skilled. Skulker. Slinking in the shadows? Nah. Zygon wants people to know he's present by his over-exuding personality. Spell Sniper, Weapon Master, Warcaster. Advantage on Constitution saving throws. Nah. Tough. Your hit points maximum increases by the amount equal to twice your level when you gain this feat, whenever you gain a level thereafter. Yeah, no. I've looked into that before. Okay. Alright, I think I'm going to go with Skilled. I'll choose 3 skills. You gain proficiency in 3 skills or tools of your choice. So, I know I wanted to do nature. So let's just mark these for now. We're not going to make these permanent, so that's why we're going to do these back circles. So, nature, it's or. In any combination of 3 skills or tools. So let's just mark our 3 tools that we may want to have. Definitely Persuasion. He's not going to be a sneaky boy. He's not going to steal anything. He's not going to do anything like acrobatic. Arcana, History, Investigation, maybe? Insight, Perception. Deception, he's probably going to be, like, super, super honest. Intimidation, definitely not Performance. So I'm thinking either Intimidation or Investigation. He's not going to, he's going to be, like, a fun-loving guy. So I would probably say none to these 3. Perception, Insight. So let's put the third as Investigation. So right now, if we end up going with the Skilled feat, if we decide to do 3 proficiencies, that is. Investigation, Nature, and Persuasion. So we're pretty much at the end of the feats. So let's go and take a look at the tool proficiencies. Tools. Crafting, nope. Deities of Eberron. Tools. Okay. So I can be proficient in these are kits, not these. Artisan tools. Hold on. These are all tools. Tools help you something you couldn't otherwise do, such as craft or repair an item, forge a document, pick a lock. Your race, class, background, or feats give you proficiency with certain tools. Proficiency with a tool allows you to add your proficiency bonus to any ability check you make using that tool. Tools not tied to a single ability, since proficiency with a tool represents a broader knowledge of its use. For example, the DM might ask you to make a dexterity check to carve a fine detail with your wood carver's tools, or a strength check to make something out of particularly hard wood. Okay, so I'm already twice proficient in an herbalism kit. So the herbalism kit is something that we can just not even think about. Artisan's tools. We're going to have all the descriptions here. I guess not all of them. Disguise kit, forgery kit, gaming set, herbalism kit, musical instrument. Do they have a banjo? No. Vehicles. Would a vehicle be considered a tool? Vehicle proficiency. If you have proficiency with a certain kind of vehicle, land or water, you can add it to your proficiency bonus to any check you make to control a kind of vehicle in a difficult circumstance. Waterborne vehicles, tack, harness, and drawn vehicles, carriage, cart, chariot. Okay, probably not. That'll probably just be something that we don't even want to open up that can of worms in this campaign. Wood carver's tools, weavers, tinkers, potters, painters, masons, leather workers, jewelers, glass blowers, cooks utensils. There's only one. I wonder if I should make him good at cooking. Cobbler's tools. Let's look at some of these. Artisan's tools. Proficiency with the set of artisan's tools lets you add your proficiency bonus to any ability checks, making the tools of your craft. Disguise, forgery, gaming set, herbalism, musical instrument. Several of the most common types of musical instruments are shown. The table are the examples. If you have proficiency with a given musical instrument, you can add your proficiency bonus to ability checks to make the play music with the instrument. A bard can use a musical instrument as a spellcasting focus. As described in Chapter 10, each musical instrument requires a separate proficiency. That would just be for funsies, but navigator's tools. The set of instruments is used for navigation at sea. Aww. Yeah, he probably wouldn't be proficient in any type of navigating on the sea, because he would not leave his farm. That's his story. He was there for 20 years. He didn't leave. Adventuring gear, weapons. Okay, so let's go with this then. We'll do our proficiency in these. So let's make these permanent. We're gonna take the was it the resilient feat? It's right down here somewhere. No. Resilient. No, that was not the one we picked. We picked skilled. So let's copy this down onto our character sheet under additional traits. So we have it. Okay, so let's actually mark down what we did. So we did persuasion, we did nature, and investigation. Persuasion, right? Probably didn't even spell that right. Yeah, persuasion. Okay. So, now that we have this added, let's save. And then let's go ahead and fill out the rest of our spots. So, now we can actually calculate everything. So our saving throw is going to be a +1 here, as well as our athletics, because we're not proficient, we're not strong at all. So all these are a 2. So I'm not a steal, I'm not a stealth boy. Con is a +2. So this is going to be a +2 and a +2. Then we're going to add a proficiency modifier to these, so this is going to be a +5, +5, +5, and +5. Let's see. This was a 4 + 3, so this is going to be a +7. This is also going to be a +7. Medicine is a +7. And survival will be a +7. Perception is just going to be a +4, as well as my insight. And then it's going to be a +3 to saving throws for charisma. Deception is going to be a +3, which is still really good. Intimidation and performance. Yet my persuasion is going to be a +3 + +3, so it's going to be a +6 for persuasion. So it's not looking too bad. Now that we have that, tools, we're just good in herbalism. That's fine. We barely even touched anything. These are just some of the things I added before, but I might change these around once I actually look at the actual spells again. So, with our passive perception and passive insight, I think it's 8 plus proficiency plus the skill, right? So it should be 3 plus 8, so 11. What's perception? 11 plus 4, so 15 for perception. That's my passive. Passive insight is 11 plus 4. Okay, so they're both 15. If you guys see something wrong, just correct me, let me know. Alright. So now we have that. Let's now roll our HP. Because now that we know that we're not actually adding anything to our con modifier, I think when I get to level 8, I probably will take the ability score modifier and then probably add the 1 to wisdom and maybe like 1 to intelligence, because I have a lot of proficiencies in here in both categories, so I'll probably do that at level 8. If Zygon ever gets used, that is. So let's go ahead and roll our first roll. Let's bring our calculator up. So we're rolling for He's at a level 1 now. So level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, level 6. Oops, sorry. So we're going to add 10 to this already, right? And then we got to roll 5 times. And I'm not fudging these, I swear. 5 plus 5. If you want, I can pull the camera down. I can stretch it. Oh, you guys can't even see that anyway. All right, so that's 5. 6. That's 2. 8. Oh boy. That's 3. 8 again. I swear to God. 8. I swear. 8, 8, 8. That was my 4th roll. This is my 5th roll. 6. All right, so that was 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different rolls. So my HP is going to be 43. What is Vaxis at? Vaxis is a 46. So 43. All right. Let's save. Now, I got to figure out the Druid AC. I think it depends on like your equipment. Let me go back up. I think it tries to find it like where I'm currently at. Druid's like right down here. Jeez. There we go. Yeah, I get my ability to score improvement on level 8. Hit points at higher levels, 1d8 or 5, which I don't do averages really that often. Plus your constitution modifier, so that was right. Alrighty. So let's look at equipment. If we look at equipment, I probably should have like this open up in like 2 tabs. Let me open up in another tab. Alright, well. So I can get a wooden shield. Or a simple weapon. A scimitar. Or any simple melee weapon. Leather armor. So let me open up a pad here. Alright. So let's look at weapons. I guess armor and shields too. So, actually we're looking at equipment right now, so let's look at this. Finesse, heavy, light, loading, range, reach. Yeah. Okay. Weapons. So the first one is a wooden shield. I guess I could put this here. A wooden shield or a simple weapon. So we should probably get a wooden shield first. I think it's further up. Shield. I guess it doesn't specify. Shields. Light armor, medium armor. Shields. A shield is made from wood or metal and is carried by one hand. Wielding a shield increases your armor class by 2. You can benefit from only one shield at a time. So, let's add one shield that's 10 GP. +2 to AC. Alright, next one. A scimitar or any simple melee weapon. So, simple melee weapons. I want him to use a spear, but it's thrown. It's versatile, so it could be a 1d8 if I hold it with my hands. Quarterstaff. I guess versatile is if you use 2 hands. So I guess I'm going to use a quarterstaff. I really want to use a javelin. So any of you guys in chat, if you have any input, let me know. If I can have a druid who has a pitchfork. Or the equivalent of a pitchfork. So like a javelin, for example. I wouldn't be throwing it, so I guess a javelin is only thrown. So we can say either a spear, if not, a quarterstaff. But what they were saying was you can get a scimitar or a simple melee weapon, right? And that was under the druid data from the player's handbook. So that means that I can still at least have I'm gonna put a spear down. I'm assuming if it's versatile. See, I read versatile is you can switch hands, so you can do with one hand or you can do 2. So I'm seeing that it's a 1d6 if I'm using it one-handed. If I am not using my shield and I'm using it two-handed, it's a d8 for damage. I'm going to do a spear. So flavor, I'm going to say it's a pitchfork. My attack bonus is it's +1 plus my I'm not proficient in it. Yeah, I'm proficient in it because it's a simple weapon, so it'd be a +4, which is terrible. This would be so terrible. I don't even know if I can actually hold this. Also, because if I'm going to be casting spells, I might have to use a quarterstaff or like have like a druidic focus, like a wand or something like that. So I'm putting this down for now. We might remove it. Damage type is 1d6 bludgeoning. Then let's go back. So we got our spear, 1d6 bludgeoning, versatile. Then it says leather armor, an explorer's pack, and a druidic focus. So leather armor. So I'm assuming it's this one, because this is leather. It's not saying, hey, it's light armor. So it would be leather for 10 GP. It's 11 plus dex. So 11 plus dex is 13. Plus my shield is going to be 15. So let's put these in. So we're going to have +11 dex. I guess I'll put my shield here. Head, amulet, cloak, hands, arms, ring, belt, boots. +2 AC. Okay. So that puts my armor class at 15. And let's look at, it might be over here. Here we go. This weapon can, for versatile, this weapon can be used with 1 or 2 hands. The damage value in parentheses appears within the property. The damage when the weapon is used with 2 hands to make a melee attack. So what I was thinking was correct. So what we want to try to look at is monetary value. Here we go. So Druid is 2d4 times 10. I pre-rolled, but let's roll again. And then because I have the Hermit background, I have a +5 gold pieces. So this is, again, it's 2d4. So let's roll d4 twice. A 1. A 1 again. Fart. Okay. So 2 times 10, which gave me 20 gold pieces, plus the 5 being a hermit, and my... I'm assuming I gotta buy these. My wooden shield is 10. My leather is 10, which means that I only have 5 gold pieces left. Alright, so then I've already added an explorer's pack, which came with a backpack, bedroll, mess kit, tinderbox, 10 torches, 10 days of rations, water skin with 50 feet of hemp rope strapped to the side. I picked this before as the eagle totem is my druidic focus. I'm going to go back and look at that. Scroll case stuffed with notes with prayers, winter blanket, common clothes. So let's go back and let's look at a druidic focus. See, so this is a wooden stab, yew wand, a totem, sprig of mistletoe. Druidic focus. A druidic focus might be a sprig of mistletoe or holly, a wand or scepter made of yew, or another special wood, a staff drawn whole out of a living tree, or a totem object incorporating feathers, fur, bones, and teeth from sacred animals. A druid can use such an object as a spellcasting focus as described in Chapter 10. So, let's go to Chapter 10. Let's just go to Chapter 10. Chapter 9, Chapter 10, Spellcasting. Spell level, known to prepared spells, casting spell at a higher level, cantrip, rituals, casting a spell, bonus action, reactions. I'm not going to do all of this in stream. I would want to torture you. Components, duration. We're basically looking for the druidic focus at this point. Different schools of magic. Transmutation, necromancy, illusion, evocation, enchantment, divination, conjuration, and aberration. Line, cone, cube, sphere, cylinder. Point of origin. I haven't even gone into this chapter. Targets, sure. Saving throws, attack rolls. Where's the druidic focus here? Did I miss it? $150 and $151. Found in Chapter 5. As a spellcasting focus for your druid spells. So let's go to Chapter 5. starting equipment. Basically where it put me before. Trinkets. So it's just going to be something like this. I would like a little U wand. That would be cool to kind of like pull out of my front pocket. But what would I do with my pitchfork? Oh, I'd turn it and I'd stick it into the ground. Let's get a U wand. Let's change our druidic focus. Let's actually put that down here. Okay. Like I said before, I don't really care about ideals and bonds and flaws. Usually make it up as I go. So the only thing that's really left, a pitchfork, is my spells. Right? I don't need a, I don't need something that's going to get me distance on an attack because I've got my spells. So a pitchfork is if somebody comes too close to me. And I actually think that a spear, I will have issue... I guess not. I think it's further up here. Let's see. You can throw a weapon to make a range attack. Use the same ability modifier to attack roll. Okay. For example, if you throw a hand axe, you use your strength, but if you throw a dagger, you can use either your strength or your dexterity, since the dagger has a finesse property. This weapon adds 5 feet to your reach when you attack with it. I don't think my spear does. Let's double check. It doesn't say. So like this says reach. The glaive has like a reach. So then I would assume that I can still attack somebody within if they were on top of me with my spear. See, it's not a lance because that's a special weapon. You have disadvantage when you use a lance to attack a target within 5 feet of you. Also, a lance requires 2 hands to wield when you're not mounted. Yeah, so... Adventuring gear, acid. Oh, jeez. What? Adventuring gear? Arcane focus. Okay. Ball bearings. Alright, so I'd say... Equipment packs. I think I came with the Explorers. Which I have that written down. So I think now it's time to do spells. So with the spells... Actually, let's fill out our Druidic Circle features first before we go into spells. Now, let's read these again. I'd hate to go to Circle of the Moon, but let's just read this whole thing. You cast a druid spell as a ritual. If that spell has a ritual tag, you have the spell prepared. Okay. Preparing and casting spells. Drawing on a divine essence of nature itself. You can cast spells to shape the essence to your will. General rules of spell casting. Cantrips at first level, 2 of your choice. From the Druid spell list, you learn additional Druid cantrips at your choice at higher levels, as shown in the cantrips known column of the Druid table. So, Druid table shows how many spell slots you have to cast your spells at first level or higher. You prepare the list of Druid spells that are available to you for you to cast, choosing from the spell Druid list. When you do so, choose a number of Druid spells equal to your Wisdom modifier plus your Druid level. Minimum of 1 spell. The spells will be of a level for which you have spell slots. For example, if you're a 3rd level Druid and you have 4 first level and 2 second level spell slots with a Wisdom of 16, your list of prepared spells can include 6 spells of 2 or 2nd level in any combination. If you prepare for the 1st level spell Cure Wounds, you can cast using 1st or 2nd level slot. Casting the spell doesn't remove it from your list of prepared spells. So basically you have your prepared spell list, which is Wisdom modifier plus your Druid level. So let's just figure that number out. Wisdom modifier 4 plus your Druid level 6. So I have 10. So I can prepare a spell list of 10 spells. Does it say anything about cantrips? Or all cantrips? At first level, you know 2 cantrips of your choice from the Druid spell list. You can learn additional Druid cantrips of your choice at higher levels, as shown as the cantrip. Alright, so the cantrips are different. So we have... I think it's up further. We're level 6. So we're only going to know 3 cantrips. We're going to have 4 first level slots, 3 second level, and 3 third level at level 6. We can still prepare 10 spells, which is actually all the covered spell slots. So, but we'll know 3 cantrips. All right. Wild shape. Starting at 2nd level, you can use your action to magically assume the shape of a beast that you have seen before. You can use this feature twice. You regain expended uses when you finish a long or short rest. Your Druid level determines the beast you can transform into, as shown on the beast shapes table. At 2nd level, for example, you can transform into any beast that challenge rating of 1/4 or lower that doesn't have flying or swimming speed. This is actually listed on the top of my Druid spell sheet. 2nd level, 1/4 CR, which is a challenge rating. No flying or swimming, for example, wolf. At 4th level, half challenge rating, no flying speed, like a crocodile, so I can get swimming. I'm at 6, so I'm in between, so I fall into that 4th level category. You can stay in beast shape for a number of hours equal to half your Druid level, rounded down. So 3 hours for me, because I'm level 6. You then revert to normal form unless you expend another use of this feature. You can revert to your normal form earlier by using a bonus action on your turn. So it's not an action, it's a bonus action to revert if need be. You automatically revert if you fall unconscious or drop to 0 hit points or die. While you're transformed, the following rules apply. Your game statistics are replaced by the statistics of the beast, but you retain your alignment, personality, and intelligence, wisdom, and charisma scores. So the only thing that really changes is your dex and your strength. I should have just said that. You also retain all of your skill and saving throw proficiencies, in addition to gaining those of the creature. So in addition to. So if I'm like a bear could have a strength saving throw, or it could be strength and athletics. But Zygon doesn't. So in that case, if I had to make a check, for example, like to break a grapple, I could be proficient in that. If the creature has the same proficiency as you, and the bonus of the stat block is higher than yours, use the creature. Okay, so if you're both proficient, but they say the bear has a higher, like +6, and Zygon's a +4, then I can use a +6. If the creature has a legendary or layer actions, you can't use them. Yeah, jeez, transforming into a legendary. Ugh. When you transform, you assume the beast's hit points and hit die. So your hit points, your HP, and your hit die also change. When you revert to your normal form, you return to the normal hit points you had before you transformed. However, if you revert as a result of dropping to 0 hit points, any excess of damage carries over from your normal form. For example, if you take 10 damage in animal form and you only have 1 hit point left, you revert and take 9 damage. As long as the excess damage doesn't reduce your normal form, or you're being knocked unconscious. Yeah, basically, if you have 10 hit points as a bear, and you have 10 hit points as Zygon, you get hit for 11 points of damage. The bear reduces down to 0, so you flip out of being bear form, and then Zygon takes 1 point of HP damage. You can't cast spells, and your ability to speak or take any action that requires hands is limited to the capabilities of your beast form. Transforming doesn't break your concentration on a spell that you've already cast, however, or prevent you from taking action to take any part of a spell, such as Call Lightning, that you've already cast, which is good. So you can say start like a spell that you can hold concentration. You can still revert into a form, unless if you're like hit, and then you gotta like try to like roll Constitution saving check, see if you can still retain it. You retain the benefit of any features from your class, race, or other source you can use. However, you can't use any of your special senses, such as dark vision, unless the new form also has that sense. You choose whether your equipment falls to the ground in your space or merges into your new form. It just merges into your new form. Come on, guys. But the DM decides whether it is practical for a new form to wear a piece of equipment based on the creature's size and shape. Equipment doesn't change size or shape. You're basically like the Hulk. You turn into the Hulk, you're wearing shorts, and they rip. But they're really tiny on the Hulk. But when you get back, they're going to be like all baggy, but just shredded. Okay. At the end of all these rules, DM has final say. That's how we play. Our DM, we follow the rules, but if she wants to change something, or feels she wants to kind of throw us a bone, we establish it then and there, and then that's what we stick to for the rest of the campaign. So, Druid Circle. At second level, you choose to identify with a circle of druids, the circle of land, or the circle of moon. Both detailed at the end of the class description. Your choice grants you features at second level, and again at 6th, 10th, and 14th. Ability score improvement, we already read that. I think I'm missing a page in between, but whatever. Additionally, you can ignore the verbal insomniac components of your druid spells, as well as any material components that lack costs that aren't consumed by a spell. You gain the benefit of both your normal shape and your beast shape in wild. Okay. So again, we're talking about the druid circles. So we're going to do the druid circles, and then we'll get into the spells. So, because these druid circles come along with some of these spells. So druid circles, throughout their organization, is invisible to most outsiders. Druids are part of a society that spans the land, ignoring political borders. All druids are normally members of this druidic society, though some individuals are so isolated that they have never seen any high-ranking members of society or participated in druidic gatherings, which is going to be Zygon. He hasn't participated in really any of this stuff. Druids recognize each other as brothers and sisters. Like creatures in the wilderness, however, druids sometimes compete with or even prey on each other. At a local scale, druids are organized into circles that share certain perspectives on nature, balance, and the way of the Druid. So, which is going to be mostly what we're going to select. Circle of the Land. Circle of the Land is made up of mystics and sages who safeguard ancient knowledge and rites through the vast oral tradition. These druids meet within sacred circles of the trees or standing stones to whisper primal secrets in Druidic. The circle's wisest members preside as the chief priests of common communities and hold the old faith and serve as advisors to the rule of these folk. As a member of the circle, your magic is influenced by the land where you were initiated into the circle of religious rites. So I guess if I have to choose circle of the land, I guess he's had to have some connection with the chief priests. So you get a bonus cantrip. When you choose the circle at second level, you can learn one additional druid cantrip of your choice. So I already have 3 at level 6, so that means I'll have 4. So we'll keep that in the back of our mind. Natural recovery. Starting at second level, you can regain some of your magical energy by sitting in meditation and communicating with nature. During a short rest, you choose to expend spell slots to recover. You choose expended spell slots to recover. The spell slots you have combined with the level is equal to or less than half your druid level, rounded up. And none of the spell slots can be level 6 or higher. You can't use this feature again until you finish a long rest. So that means that basically, if we have a short rest, I can, at level 6, choose to regain 3 spell slots, because it would be half of my level, rounded down. So if I was 7, it would still be 3, but if I was 8, it'd be 4. But if we took 2 short rests in a 24-hour period, which we don't do, just because we're like, you already had a short rest, I can't do it again until we have a long rest, which at a long rest, everything should restore. So, for example, when you're 4th level druid, you can recover up to 2 levels worth of spell slots. You can recover either a second level slot or 2 first level slots. Oh, okay. So then, I was wrong. So then it would be, I can do 1 level 3 spell slot, or I can do a level 2 and a level 1, which will be equal to 3, or do 3 level 1 spell slots. Okay. Good to know. Natural recovery. Circle spells. Your mystical connection with the land infuses you with the ability to cast certain spells. At 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 9th level, you gain access to circle spells connected to the land where you became a druid. Choose that land: Arctic, coast, desert, forest, grassland, mountain, swamp, or underdark. As a result is the associated list of spells. Once you gain access to a circle spell, you will always have it prepared, and it doesn't count against the number of spells you can prepare each day. If you gain access to a spell that doesn't appear on the druid spell list, the spell is nonetheless a druid spell for you. So, we've already calculated my level and my wisdom modifier. My wisdom modifier is 4, my level's 6. That gives me a total of 10 spells that I can prepare. That's prepared. I have 4 first level slots, 3 second, 3 third. I normally had 3 cantrips, but with the bonus cantrip, if I choose this, I'll have 4 cantrips. And that explanation of these circle spells means that I get these spells depending on where I choose where I'm from, and they do not count against my prepared spells. So I still have 10, but I'm going to end up getting like 2 chunks of these, and they're not going to go against it. So I'll tell you right now, Arctic and coast are out. Desert's out. Desert might be in. These are out. As to Zygon's backstory, he's mostly forest. So I would also cut out desert. So these top 3 are out. We can get away with, I would nix out Underdark as well. We can realistically get away with these 4, which is forest, grassland, mountain, and swamp. So let's go through these and let's see if any of them make sense to Zygon, his backstory, him as a character, and then after all that, what is cool or beneficial or whatever. So Forest at level 3, which we would get Bark Skin and then Spider Climb. Both are good. 5th level, Call Lightning and Plant Growth. And actually, I'll write these down because I want to look at these spells. I keep opening up the wrong document. This one. Alright, get that out of there. Let's just take these 4. Oh, wonderful. They all look great. I love you, Notepad. Alright. So Forest is Bark Skin and Spider Climb, Call Lightning, and Plant Growth is what we'll have. If we ever get a next level up, it's Divination and Freedom of Movement. Grassland, Invisibility, Pass Without Trace, which, if I'm not mistaken, Pass Without Trace adds, like, to anyone within, like, a 30-foot radius. I'll read the spells for all of these that I'm going to get, just so I'm aware of what they are. But I think it like adds like a +10 to like everybody like in the surrounding area as long as they stay within 30 feet of the caster on stealth checks, which is great. If you roll a 10, that's 20. If you roll a natural 20, that's 30. Daylight and Haste. Mountain is Spider Climb and Spike Growth. Lightning Bolt, Meld into Stone. Ooh. Swamp is Darkness, Melf's Acid Arrow, Water Walk, and Stinking Cloud. The only reason why I'm considering Swamp is because we're experiencing a lot of swamp areas in Chult. 9th level, they get Scrying. Okay. Okay. So these are all like the spells. I actually have this thing which is a little bit more readable. Let's see if we can find it. Did I want to look Stinking Cloud up? Wrong document again. Okay. I wanted to look up all these. So, let's go back here. So let's already go to like level 3. Bark Skin and Spider Climb. So let's look for Bark Skin. I wonder if this is for... I wonder if this isn't what I think it's supposed to be for. Yeah, I don't think this is a good... I don't think this is supposed to be for me. Let's close that. Alright, so then let's try in here. So Bark Skin. Do we not have a spell list in here? Spells in the Worlds of Dungeons and Dragons chapter begins with a spell list. Okay. 267. $209. Here we go. This is what I wanted to see. Okay. Alter self. Animal shapes. Animate dead. Where's the bee? For Bark Skin. Banishing. Banishment. Bark Skin. Second level. Casting one action. Touch. You touch a willing creature until the spell ends. The target's skin is a rough bark-like appearance, and the target's AC can't be less than 16, regardless of what kind of armor it's wearing. So, I'm already at a 15. So if I cast Bark Skin on myself, my AC raises by 1. Which isn't terrible. I don't know why it's jumping. Oh, I guess I pulled it up there. Alright, and then the next one is Spider Climb. Also, guys, I have an app on my phone. It's called D&D Spells 5e. It's very good, and it's much faster. But I mean, I will do it on here so people can see it. Spider Climb, second level transmutation. Conjuration up to 1 hour. Touch, 1 action. Until the spell ends, one willing creature you touch gains the ability to move up, down, and across vertical surfaces and upside down along ceilings while leaving its hands free. The target also gains a climbing speed equal to its walking speed. So, that means that we could be climby boys. The next one is Call Lightning. And then plant growth. This is where the book really comes in handy, in my opinion. Alright, Call Lightning. That's Chain Lightning. Calm Emotions. Call Lightning. A storm cloud appears. Concentration. Range 120 feet. Great. 1 action. Up to 10 minutes. 3rd level. Storm appears in the shape of a cylinder. Is 10 feet tall with 60-foot radius, centered on a point you can see 100 feet directly above you. The spell fails if you can't see a point in the air where the storm cloud would appear. For example, if you're in a room and you can't accommodate for the cloud. When you cast a spell, choose a point where you can see within range. A bolt of lightning flashes down from that cloud to that point. Each creature within 5 feet of the point must make a dexterity saving throw. A creature takes 3d10 lightning damage on a failed save. So max 30, low of 3, or half as much on a successful one. On each of your turns until the spell ends, you can use your action to call down lightning in this way again, targeting the same point or a different one. If you are outdoors in a stormy conditions, when you cast a spell, the spell gives you the control over the existing storm instead of creating a new one. Under such conditions, the spell damage increases by 1d10. If you do it at higher levels like 4, you add a 1d10 more to that. That's not bad. I like the idea of having Call Lightning. Plant growth. I'm also trying to think that he's Druid, so he's like nature, so more plant-like. But then also, because he's going to be an Aasimar, I want him to have some sort of either like radiance or like a lightning aspect as well. Let's see. I apologize. I'm still stuffy, so you hear me sniffling over here. I apologize about that. Okay. What was the spell called again? Plant growth. Here's Pass Without Trace. 1 hour, self, 1 action. Avail of Shadows. For the duration, each creature you choose within 30 feet of you, so you get to choose them, including yourself, has a +10 to dexterity stealth checks and can't be tracked except by magical means. A creature that receives this bonus leaves behind no tracks or traces of its passage, so that's great. Plane shift, polymorph, plant growth. 1 action or 8 hours. Instantaneous. The spells channel divinity into plants with your specific area. There are 2 possible uses for the spell, granting either immediate or long-term benefits. If you cast a spell using 1 action, choose a point within range. All normal plants in a 100-foot radius centered on that point become thick and overgrown. As a creature moving through this area, the area must spend 4 feet of movement for every 1 foot it moves. You can exclude 1 or more areas of any size within the spell's area from being affected. You cast this spell over 8 hours. You enrich the land. All plants in a half-mile radius centered on a point within range will become enriched for 1 year. The plants yield twice the normal amount of food when harvested. So this already sounds like something that would be perfect for Zygon. And this is for Forest. We don't have to look at the other ones because I'm not gonna have those there. But these 2 look great. Pass Without Trace we just read. So let's look at invisibility. I'm seeing if this is going to be a little bit quicker to get us to the spell. No more. Oh, it's there. Trust me. It's here somewhere. Conjure Fey. Oh, geez. Contagion. Alright, let's see. Inflict wounds, insect plague, legend lore, invisibility. A creature you touch becomes invisible until the spell ends. Anything the target is wearing or carrying is invisible as long as it's on the target's person. Spell ends for the target that attacks or casts a spell. Touch, 1 hour, illusion. If you do it at like, say, a 3rd level, you can do 2 people. Pass Without Trace isn't bad. Daylight, and let's look up Haste. Haste. Choose a willing creature that you see within range until the spell ends. The target speed is doubled. It gains 2 to their AC, has advantage on dexterity saving throws, and it gains an additional action on each one of its turns. That action can be used to take an attack, one weapon attack only, dash, disengage, hide, or use an object action. When the spell ends, the target can't move or take an action until after its next turn, as a wave of lethargy sweeps over it. So basically, it's up to 1 minute. So basically, they basically lose a turn. Is it worth it, though? Is that worth it? They gain +2 AC, advantage on dexterity saving throws. If you're in a battle, it'll help someone disengage or hide. They have the dexterity modifier, saving throw. They have 2 to their AC to maybe dodge an attack, but if you can disengage, what's the point? So I can say that we can take Grassland out. Spider Climb, we already read. Spike Growth, Lightning Bolt, Meld into Stone. So let's look at Lightning Bolt. Lightning Arrow, Lightning Bolt. Instantaneous 1 action, self, 100-foot line. A stroke of lightning forming a line 100 feet long and 5 feet wide blasts out from you in a direction you choose. Each creature in that line must make a dexterity saving throw. A creature takes 8d6 lightning damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. Lightning ignites flammable objects in the area that aren't being worn or carried. At higher levels, you add a d6. So let's think here. So at a minimum, you have 8 damage, right? That's a minimum. You roll all ones on those d6s, right? But at the most, it's going to be 6 times 8, which is 48 damage. Roughly, the average is going to be about 20, but still. That's cool. Lightning Bolt. Fart. Let me move this. Let's move this over here. Lightning Bolt is cool. Meld into Stone. And Spike Growth. So let's look at Meld into Stone. Mending Meld into Stone. 8 hours. Touch. You step into a stone object or surface large enough to fully contain your body, melding yourself and all the equipment you carry with the stone for the duration. Using your movements, you step into the stone at a point you touch. Nothing of your presence remain visible or otherwise detectable by non-magical senses. While merged with the stone, you can't see what occurs outside it, and any wisdom or perception checks you make to hear sounds outside are made with disadvantage. You remain aware of the passage of time. You can cast spells on yourself while merged in the stone. You can use your movement to leave the stone where you entered it, which the spell ends. Otherwise, you can't move. Minor physical damage to the stone doesn't harm you, but its particles' destruction or a change in its shape, to the extent that you're no longer fit within it, expels you and deals 6d6 bludgeoning damage to you. The stone's complete destruction expels you, deals 50 bludgeoning damage to you. If expelled, you fall prone. Yeah, so that's cool if you're like a sneaky boy, right? So Meld into Stone isn't that cool. Lightning Bolt's cool, though. Let's look up Spike Growth. So far, this one's kind of like, eh. I saw power word kill. Spike growth. Spiritual weapon. Did I miss it? Spider climb, speak with the dead, speak with animals, spare the dying, speak with plants, slow. Sleet storm. Is it not here? This looks like 276. Speak, spare the dying, speak with animals, speak with the dead, spider climb, spike growth. I missed it. Okay. Range 150 feet. Concentration up to 10 minutes. The ground in a 10-foot radius centered on a point within range twists and sprouts hard spikes and thorns. The area becomes difficult terrain for the duration. When a creature moves into or within the area, it takes 2d4 piercing damage for every 5 feet it travels. The transformation of the ground is camouflaged and to look natural. Any creature that can't see the area at the time the spell is cast must make a wisdom perception check against your spell save DC to recognize the terrain isn't hazardous before entering it. So that's not bad. Because if they ran 20 feet through it, right? So that's 5 for each. So that's times 4. You're looking at a minimum of 2d4 for every 5 feet. So you're looking at 2 damage times 4. You're looking at a minimum of 8. And then a maximum of 8 times 4, which would be 32 damage to go 20 feet through it. That's okay. I understand that's more realistic to look at the maximum amount, but so mountain is okay. I still think forest is best. Let's check the swamp before we do anything else, because this is want to make sure I'm not dropping too many frames here. Yeah. We should be fine. Darkness, Melf's Acid Arrow, Water Walk, and Stinking Cloud. So let's look for Stinking Cloud. It's right here. You create a 20-foot radius sphere of yellow, nauseating gas centered onto a point. Cloud spreads around corners. Its area is heavily obscured. The cloud lingers in the air for the duration. Make a Constitution saving throw against the poison. On a failed save, the creature spends its action that turn retching and reeling, like vomiting. So they basically lose a turn. Creatures that don't need to breathe or are immune to poison automatically succeed on the saving throw, like my character Vaxis. Our moderate wind, or at least 10 miles per hour, disperses the cloud after 4 rounds. A strong wind, or at least 20 miles per hour, disperses it after 1 round. Rotten egg or several skunk cabbage leaves. Alright, so that's silly. Let's look up Water Walk since we're down at the bottom here. Water breathing, Water Walk. Spell grants the ability to move across any liquid surface, such as water, acid, mud, snow, quicksand, or lava, as if it were harmless solid ground. Creatures crossing molten lava can still take damage from the heat. Up to 10 willing creatures you can see within range gain this ability during the duration. Your target creature submerged in a liquid spell carries the target to the surface of the liquid at a range of 60 feet per round. Okay, so that is... I don't think Zygon would use it. So let's look at Darkness and Melf's Acid Arrow. Melf's Acid Arrow. A shimmering green arrow streaks towards the target within range and bursts in a spray of acid. Makes a ranged spell attack against the target. On a hit, it takes 44 acid damage immediately and 2d4 acid damage at the end of its next turn. On a miss, the arrow splashes the target with acid for half as much as the initial damage. Okay. Let's look up darkness. Darkness. Magical darkness spreads from a point which you choose within range and fills a 15-foot radius sphere. For the duration, the darkness spreads around corners. A creature with dark vision can't see through this darkness, and non-magical light can't illuminate it. Okay, so swamp is out. So I'm gonna be honest. I think forest is best. So we're gonna go with that. It's a dang shame I don't have scrying at level 9. But that's fine. So let me get my... I think I might actually have it. Let's see. Here we go. This is what I wanted. So we have spell sheets here. So we're going to do... We can actually probably put down Vaxis. We don't need to use him anymore. So what we're going to use... We could at least just put the names in. We're going to have Bark Skin. At 3rd level. Spider Climb. Call Lightning and Plant Growth. Level 5. So we're going to put this as Forest Circle. Just so we understand that these aren't going to be a part of our 10 prepared spells. And let's go back and check them all out. We're in C, so let's go look up Bark Skin. Here we go. 2nd level transmutation. So we're just going to be copying over a few things here. Range, touch, 1 action for casting time. Touch, no save. Duration up to 1 hour. Then we have VS and M. Handful of bark. Look how wonderful that looked. Oh, of oak bark. I'll go back through and I'll edit these things. These I'm not going to mark as prepared because they don't have to be prepared. Alright, so Spider Climb. Call Lightning first. Hey, Namas wins. Look at using the power of the net. It's going well. So, Zygon is an Asmar farmer. So my DM's allowing us to at least be 500 experience behind the death of the character. So my character hasn't died yet. This is just my backup character. If I don't ever get to use Icon in this campaign, I'm going to probably use him in the next campaign. So, Nom, since you're a DM, question. I want him to use a spear. Essentially a pitchfork. I'm going to be wielding a shield, which is wooden. He's going to be a druid. I think he's going to be a circle of the land, actually, and not moon. I noticed in the description of the druid, it gave you the option for your weapons, one of them being a scimitar. So I'm assuming that I can still wield something with metal on it, but just not wear armor or a shield that's metal. Is that correct? For flavor, it's going to be a pitchfork, but realistically, it's going to be a spear. A spear, not a sphere. Other than that, I rolled my HP in stream. I already had my rolled stats, but I ended up not taking the ability score improvement and ended up taking the feat, the skilled feat, which I gained proficiency in a combination of 3 skills or tools, which I did 3 skills, which is investigation, nature, and persuasion. But he is also proficient in survival and animal handling as a druid, and then medicine and religion for being a hermit. Metal weapons are fine. Perfect. So my attack spell is a +7. My spell save DC is 15. I struggled because I'm in a 19, so because I'm an Asmar, I get to add 1 to my wisdom and 2 to my charisma. So it bumped my 2, which was a 14, up to a 16, which was a 3. I had an 18. I rolled really well in this one, so I added it to my wisdom. So I was really struggling on trying to max this one out, but I think I'm okay with adding more proficiencies. So that's it. So then a second question I had for you is, I took leather armor, which was 11 plus dex, which is listed for the druid as to what you can have for an armor. And then a wooden shield, which is just normal wooden shield, +2 to AC. Do I have to pay for those? So I rolled 20 gold pieces, and then 5 for the druid, and then 5 I got extra for being a hermit. So do you normally pay for entry equipment out of your initial like stuff, or do you kind of like defaultly have that, and then that's the gold pieces are kind of like what's on top afterwards, or if you were to like upgrade or something like that? So yeah, so right now I'm doing spells. There's a bunch of stuff I didn't even touch into about the Aasimar stuff. Like for example, I get dark vision, I have healing hands, light bearer, and radiant soul. Light bearer, I use the charisma modifier as my spell, so I would add my charisma plus my proficiency, so it would be a +6 instead of a +7 for the attack bonus. Languages: common, celestial, and druidic. Herbalism, I'm ×2 just because I have one for druid and then have one for hermit. You can either get to equip it, says you start with it, or the starting gold. Oh, so you don't get either, so it's either or is what you're saying. So you would have to pay for armor. Okay, that's fine. So then I did it in a way where I would pay for the armor. Because this campaign I'm playing a monk, so I'm doing unarmored defense, so I didn't have to buy any armor from the get-go. So yeah. So these are just some Aasimar traits that I added into my features. Lightbearer, you know the light cantrip. Charisma is your spellcasting for it. Healing hands is an action you touch as a creature. Cause you regain the number of hit points equal to your level. So these are stuff I know. Celestial Radiance, you have resistance to necrotic damage and radiant damage. Dark Vision, blah blah blah, your Infernal Heritage, alignment. Most Azamars are good. Outcast Azamar are more often neutral. So, I just put NG. I didn't actually mess with my alignment yet, but I need to do that. So, I am getting into spells, and this is where I need the most help on. So at a level 6, I have a list of prepared 10 spell slots. Because I'm choosing Circle of the Land, I have a bonus cantrip. So I had 3 cantrips, and then I got a bonus cantrip. Don't mind these. These are just what I previously put, but I'll remove them now. And then so right now I decided to go with the forest, Land of the Forest, or Circle of the Forest, I should say. And then I'm just adding those spells in now, because those don't go towards my prepared list. So at level 3, I gain Bark Skin and Spider Climb. At level 5, I gain Call Lightning and Plant Growth. Because my current character is only at level 6, so right now Zygon would be level 6. So that's why I added those in. The next one would be Divination and Freedom of Movement at level 7. So I was just trying to move these over while I had the spells up. Have you ever played or have you ever DM'd somebody as a straight Druid? Or any suggestions on multi-classing? I probably even shouldn't think about multi-classing with a Druid. I've never DM'd for a Druid. I heard Druid is one of the more complicated classes. Did play one as an NPC though. How much action did you get? Concentration. So we'll do, we'll just put 10 minutes and then we'll put C. So we know it's a concentration. They are, yes. So the whole idea behind Zygon is that Zygon, he... I'm going to have to move all these up. So, Zygon is a farmer who, one day, his ma and pa went to the market, and they told Zygon to take care of the farm. And that was 20 years ago. And he's still waiting for his ma and pa to show up. But when they do, they're going to be proud of old Zygon. So that's pretty much his backstory, but he's really an Azamar. So through the campaign, if he ever does get called up to that is. he will slowly discover that he is something more than just a little old farmer. He'll question his parents, his ma and pa. He'll question if his ma and pa were even truly his ma and pa. Let's see, this one started under. Under such conditions, the spell damage increases by 1d10. I should include that as best I could. Let's see, will it fit? It does. Okay. Wonderful. We got it to fit. He was moon, so he healed and became an elemental. Oh my goodness. He went crazy. That's the huge benefit of being Land of the Moon. Or Circle of the Moon. I keep thinking Land. Circle of the Moon. You could turn into friggin' elementals. Alright, plant growth, spider climb. I wish these things would be spaced out normally. So how long have you been DMing? A little over 2 years now. Started August 2017. That's funny. I want to say that we started this campaign in August for this year. I think the first campaign was like in February though. I'm still really new to D&D. But I'll tell you what, dude. I really wish... Oh, I could click this for its concentration, so I don't have to do that. I really wish I got into D&D at a younger age so that I could have experienced playing more and playing different characters and stuff like that. This is so much fun, and I know it really depends on like your group, you know what I mean? Let's save this. Save as Zygon. It lasts a week in game. Getting ready for a festival. Oh boy. When we started in Schult in this campaign, it started with a month-long festival, which was a lot of fun. There was like dinosaur races and Coliseum fights, stuff like that. It was a grand old time. Alright, so spider climb. Spider climb. One action, touch. There's sledding, fortune telling, strength contest, tournament, a circus, drinking contest. A challenging rogue was part of that circus. That sounds really cool, like fortune telling and drinking contest and strength stuff. I'm just now getting into Critical Role. So like I'm starting to like experience like more D&D, and I don't care if people want to poop on Matt Mercer. Like all that I think is what is important, especially for D&D, is like you as a DM enjoy what you're doing as well as your players. And nobody else should have an opinion on it. You know what I mean? Oh, I read that wrong. Not the challenging, the changeling rogue. Excuse me. Alright, so we got these 4 so far. We should actually save this as not the regular spell list, but we should save this as spell list forest circle. And then let's open up another one. And then let's add our cantrips to this. So let's look at cantrips. I don't know if the cantrips are on this one. Components, casting time, casting a spell, cantrips, level 0. Adding songs for the festival right now. There you go. I just found like a random like D&D like 3-hour like loop. Actually, it's going to be coming to an end soon. I've already been doing this for 2.5 hours. It's called RPG Ambience Fantasy number 2. It's definitely not like festival-y, but yeah, it's for some background music. All right, so spells, bard spells. Okay. So we want to look at that's ranger, sorcerer, cleric, druid. All right, so we're gonna be able to get to pick 4 of these cantrips. Please excuse me whenever I brought that up. All right. So right now, I already tell you that Shillelagh's probably a good one. He would probably have mending. So let's go see. I think these are just spells, are they? Or are cantrips in here? Conjuration cantrip. Okay, so cantrips are in here. Are you looking for like natural stuff, or are you gonna look for something that like had already like existed, like the festival music from Chrono Cross or something like that? All right, so let's go down the list. So first we're gonna look for Druid craft. We need to pick at least 4. I think Thorn Whip is probably really good too, but there's resistance or produce flame, poison spray, mending, guidance, druid craft, shillelagh, Thorn Whip. So let's see. We'll go down the list. A mixture. Okay. Burning hands. Confusion. Every event gets its own theme. I love that. That's something like I would do. So like we have a little like little boombox thing, and there's an app that it's called RPG Fantasy. It's called RPG Fantasy. It's got a green icon, at least on the iPhone. It's got a little Santa hat on it now for the Christmas time. but it ends up adding like ambient sounds and like sound effects and music, and you can kind of layer them a little bit. And it's free, so you don't have to pay anything for it. But like I'm usually like the DJ because I like setting music. Because my DMs, she's still a new DM, so I try to make sure she worries less about ambiance and music and let me help her. So like I'll do it. You know what I mean? Okay, disguise self. We want Druid craft. Alright, Druidcraft. It's a transmutation cantrip. 1 action, 30 feet, instantaneous. Whisper to the spirits of nature. You create one of the following effects within range. You create a tiny, harmless sensory effect that predicts what weather would be at your location for the next 24 hours. The effect might manifest as a golden orb for clear skies, a cloud for rain, falling snowflakes for snow, and so on. The effect persists for 1 round. You instantaneously make a flower blossom, a seed pod open, or a leaf bud bloom. You create an instantaneous harmless sensory effect such as falling leaves, a puff of wind, the sound of a small animal, or the faint odor of a skunk. The effect must fit within a 5-foot cube. You instantly light or snuff out a candle, or a torch, or a small campfire. So realistically, I'm going to put a check by this because that sounds like something that Zygon actually would have, that he was on the farm. Like, he's not going to be like, I'm an instant warrior. He's like, I'm a guy on the farm. So, Druidcraft, I'm going to put in there. Let's continue on. Let's look for guidance. To me, it's more important that he fits his story than having, like, OP, like, moves. You know what I mean? Guidance. You touch one willing creature. Once before the spell ends, a target can roll a d4. Okay, I know what guidance is. Guidance is good. That's not bad. I'll check that too. Alright, so mending. He would more than likely have mending. Because it's like he's just going to be fixing up his tools and stuff. Mass healing word. This spell repairs a single break or tear in an object you touch, such as a broken chain link, 2 halves of a broken key, a torn cloak, or a leaking wineskin. As long as the break or tear is no longer than 1 foot in any dimension, you can mend it, leaving no trace or of the former damage. This spell can physically repair a magic item or construct, in case of your Warforge. But the spell can't restore magic to such an object. So if the magic is lost, mending won't fix the magic that is lost, but can fix the physical of it. So that's pretty good so far. So right now, I already have Druidcraft, Guidance, Mending, and Shillelagh checked. We'll look at the other ones and see if they are important enough to keep over the others. The other 4 are Poison Spray, Produce Flame, Resistance, and Thorn Whip. So let's take a look at those, because I get to have 4 cantrips. Poison Spray. Well, here's Produce Flame. A flickering flame appears in your hand. The flame remains there for the duration and harms neither you nor your equipment. The flame sheds a bright light. You can also attack with the flame. 1d8 fire damage. This spell's damage increases by 1d8 when you reach the 5th level, which is 2d8. So I'm going to be level 6. So this actually is a Produce Flame can do 2d8 damage. We'll keep that in mind. Poison Spray. You extend your hand towards a creature you can see within range and project a puff of noxious gas from your palm. The creature must succeed on a Constitution saving throw. Take 1d12 poison damage. A spell increases by 1d12 when you reach 5th level. I feel like flame and resistance would make sense. Well, these so far, Druidcraft, guidance, which I can remove guidance. I would say that I need to at least keep either Druidcraft or Mending for the sake of making it still feel like it makes sense to his character to use on the farm. Because both Poison Spray and Produce Flame are great. Because he's already going to be at 6th level, so he's going to be able to do Poison Spray with 2d12 damage or Produce Flame at 2d8 damage, and they're cantrips. So if I ever run out of spells, these are going to be like the physicalness that I'm going to rely on. You think Mending is good to keep? Let me look at resistance. Ray of Enfeeblement. You touch one willing creature once before the spell ends. You can roll 1d4. The number rolled. Okay, so yeah, we can take resistance out. Mending also makes sense. Yeah, because he would be able. So like. Mending makes sense because he'd be able to like fix stuff on the farm. Druidcraft makes sense because he'd be able to say, like tell the weather essentially. So I can kind of pass on Druidcraft. I feel Mending is stronger RP wise. But let's check out Thorn Whip. I really want him to have Moonbeam though. I think Moonbeam just is so awesome. Alright, Thorn Whip, TH. Down here somewhere. Thunderwave, Thorn Whip. You create a long vine-like whip covered in thorns that lashes out at your command at a creature within range. Make a melee spell attack against the target. If the attack hits, the creature takes 1d6 piercing damage. If the creature is large or smaller, you can pull the creature 10 feet closer to you. The spell does 2d6. So if I wanted to be a little like, well, what does most damage? What does the most damage? I would take Thorn Whip out. So if I take out Druidcraft and I take out Guidance, I think I can... I just refound one of my favorite battle songs. Oh, snap. Send the link in the chat. I'll add it. Because I think my song is... I've got like 18 minutes left on my music before I have to re-loop it. I'll play it. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I will add Mending for my 4 cantrips. Mending, Poison Spray, Produce Flame, and Shillelagh. Let me look up Shillelagh. Shillelagh's good. But I don't know if I can use Shillelagh with my Spear. Spear, I mean. Sunbeam. Shape Change, Quester, Shield, Shillelagh. The wood of a club or a quarterstaff you are holding. Imbue with nature's power. For the duration, you can use your spellcasting instead of strength for the attack. In damage rolls of the melee. And the weapon's die becomes a d8. The weapon also becomes magical, if this isn't already. So question. I guess I'll have to get my DM to either clear this, but as your DM, I'll ask your expert opinion. If I'm using a spear or a pitchfork for flavor, Could I shillelagh the pitchfork? Because it says the wood of a club or a quarterstaff you're holding is imbued with the nature's power. For the duration, you can use your spellcasting ability instead. Okay, so that doesn't matter. So the part that's important is the handle in the staff of the pitchfork. Well, Zygon would be using it one-handed because he'd be having a shield, which for flavor is going to be a part of like a fence. It says the wood of a club. So not a club or a quarterstaff. It's saying the wood of those items you're holding is imbued with nature's power. So would you say that the wood of my spear would transform my spear into a shillelagh? Because if you would say, like, no, that wouldn't work, then I would be like, okay, well then for flavor's sake, I probably would, in the very beginning, I couldn't do that because I have mending. I'd say, like, oh, like my pitchfork breaks off, and then I have a quarterstaff, essentially. But as long as this makes logical sense to you, then we can do it. These are cantrips. So, shillelagh's 4. One minute. But see, a mistletoe, a shamrock leaf, and a club or quarterstaff. Touch, bonus action. Casting time, bonus, touch. I think this is instant. 1 minute. Yeah, I'd say the metal part is unaffected. So then I would have a shillelagh on top. So a shillelagh is like this huge, like, wooden knot. It would have the shillelagh stack at the end and have a pitchfork at the bottom. I'll take it. That's unique enough. Like I said, I'll still run these by my DM if I ever have to use this guy, but I think she'd probably agree. Let's move this over one. Okay. Shillelagh. I don't know, man. There's something about building character sheets gets me so excited. Cantrip. All these are gonna be cantrips. I guess I could put 0. A C looks so much funnier though in that level slot. Alright, so we're gonna do mending, poison spray, produce flame, then we're shillelagh. So that's gonna be our cantrips. Let's just gather the data. So next we'll do produce flame. You have a D&D character creation playlist. One of the guys at our gets me in the mood. It's so exciting and fun to like go through and be like, okay, now I gotta do this. Okay, now I gotta do that. You know what I mean? One of the guys at our table, he's the new addition for this this campaign, but I think he's a good addition. He and I, our characters butt heads a lot, but almost like in a playful manner. It's definitely nothing that like we like make. It's nothing that like we sideline the story or anything like that. It's almost like a way that like he tries to be flirty and jokey, and because I'm a Warforged that was recently created and then teleported to Cholt, I'm more of the stiff, straight character, like the Drax type kind of a. I don't know what you're talking about. Or like if he says something, I'll just stare at him, and then I'll be like, I don't understand. Even if I do get it, I'll be like, are you serious? And then I'll walk away from him. Like stuff like that. It's really funny in the moment. P as in Peter. Produce flame. Produce flame. Very happy when everything fits. Makes me a happy PC. But see, like, doing spells and stuff, it is so weird to me. Just because naturally, when I play any type of action-adventure game, I'm always a fighter. I'm never the person that sits back and uses spells. But watching everybody use spells at the table, it's just so much cooler. It's like, right now, I'm a Warforged monk, so I get to do things like I get to catch arrows and stuff, and I get to do, like, a bunch of, like, punches. You know what I mean? And it's like, I get to do Stunning Strike and blah, 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 but it's like, they're like, oh, I turned into a bear. I use Cloud of Daggers. I use Ice Knife. And it's like, oh my god, this ice knife hits this guy, and then it explodes, and it hits the guy next to him. I'm like, oh my god, how cool is that? There's no save on this, right? Range spell attack. Being a DM help with spell things for sure. It's funny, my DM is still like, oh, I gotta figure out this spell. She's like, I still gotta figure this out. Alright, so we got Produce Flame done. Does it have a list of components? It doesn't. Because it's a cantrip. Poison Spray. Plus my fighter got an artifact sword. Oh. Yeah, so like... Let him haste, fireball, thunderstep, banish, oh my gosh. That's crazy. What are your current player levels right now in your current campaign? Polymorph, plant growth, power word, heal, kill, healing. It's at the bottom somewhere. Poison spray. Project image. Program illusion, produce flame. Rare, power. Power word, kill, poison spray. Here we go. Action, 10 feet, VS. Instantaneous. Recently 6, probably 7 by January. Oh my goodness. That's really good for being level 6. Right now, Vaxis is... I'm at an 18,000, almost 19,000 experience at level 6 with my current character. No, my DM group. Oh. My fire is retired. I'm excited that some of these spells are actually going to do damage and they're just cantrips. Alright, so we have to find mending. And then we'll get into the fun stuff. I remember since I just spun past, he got a sword at level 14. Oh, okay, okay. I remember I got in my first campaign, we were just doing the regular box starter campaign, the Mines of Fandelier. And we came across in the very final dungeon, we came across a staff that produced magic missiles, and everyone else pretty much had everything already. My character, it was the default cheat, so I had to follow it, but he didn't want to like let go of his family heirloom axe, so like that's all that I kept, so I couldn't really use anything else. But I was able to they gave me the this wand of magic missiles, and I remember using the magic missiles in the final battle as a threat. In like I rolled a very, very poor persuade or intimidate, so I shot like all my missiles at him and all of them missed. I had expended all the spell slots on this stupid wand. I completely ruined everything, which ended up getting us into a fight, which we easily won, but still. Range, casting time, touch. Okay, so we got our 4 cantrips. Save as. Zygon. We'll save over this. Yeah. Okay. So we can have 10 prepared spells, not counting the ones that I added onto the other sheet. He's a guide master in my DM group. Fandelier was a good starter campaign. It was fun. I enjoyed it. How many slots do we have? We got 3, 6, 9. So we have enough. So we can fit the 10 spells here, and then we can use this spell slot, or I mean this one, for the increasing spells that we get that aren't on the prepared list. And then this will be the prepared list of 10 spells, plus my 3 cantrips, plus the bonus cantrip that I get for picking Circle of the Forest, which will be the Circle of the Land, which will be the Forest Circle, whatever the heck it is. Okay. So, let's go back up. Let's pick some Druid spells. I could pick, let me write this down, 4 level 1 spell, 3 level 2 spell slots, and 3 level 3 spell slots. Prepare 10 total spell slots, which is, I'm just typing on a notepad here, 4, 3, 3. Now my 4th campaign, you're in your 4th campaign, the fighter is flirting with one of the big bads from the 3rd campaign. Oh no. Oh no. So I'm gonna do a little less showy on the screen for a little bit. So I'm gonna look at these spells. I'm gonna use a mobile app. Again, they're not paying me to do any of this, but I think it's a fun app. It's called D&D Spell 5e. So I'm gonna look at these spells and I'm gonna read them out. Actually, I can actually filter it. I can filter it by class. Druid. Found 151 spells. Perfect. And then we'll do level 1. Search. Okay. Animal Friendship, which is the first one here. A spell will let you convince a beast that you mean it no harm. Choose a beast that you can see within range. Must see and hear you. If the beast's intelligence is 4 or higher, the spell fails. Otherwise, the beast must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be charmed by you for the spell's duration. If you or one of your companion harms the target, the spell ends. Okay. It's Animal Friendship. So next we're going to look at Charm Person. Got to check these classes and make sure that they fit. I'm trying to go by this list here. And the rogue is dating the granddaughter of one of the PCs from that campaign. Also, you're still actually within the same world, that's cool. I think if we end up doing another campaign, because this is supposed to take us like a year and a half, and we just started in like August, so I don't know if we're gonna finish it any sooner than that. But I think my DM's talking about possibly doing the Eberron campaign next, but we'll see. Anything with a flying airship with me, I'm sold. I'm sold all the way. I really want Vaxis to continue on to the Eberron campaign. I do not think that'll happen, though. Alright, so Charm Person. You attempt to charm a humanoid that you can see within range. You must make a wisdom saving throw, does so with advantage if you or your companions are fighting it. If it fails the saving throw, it is charmed by you and until the spell ends, until your companions do anything harmful to it. The charmed creature regards you as a friendly acquaintance. When the spell ends, a creature knows it was charmed by you. Fourth is 2,658 years later. Oh my goodness. The first to the third were directly connected. I like that. I really do, and that's not me being sarcastic. Create or destroy water. I don't have to look that one up. Cure wounds. So let's go back. So Zygon has Healing Hands. And Healing Hands is, as an action, you can touch a creature to cause it to regain a number of hit points equal to your level, which would be 6. Once you use this trait, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. Okay, so that's just a trait thing. I think my music ended, so let's loop it. Yeah, so that's not much. 6 hit points. All right, so let's go back. So let's look at Cure Wounds, because that's probably something that we need to grab. Cure Wounds. A creature you touch regains a number of hit points equal to 1d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier. Spellcasting ability modifier, which is going to be my wisdom, because I do wisdom. So it'd be 1d8 plus 4. The spell has no effect on undead or constructs, by the way. Eberron Warforge. When you cast a spell using a second level or higher, the healing increases by 1d8 for each slot above the first. So basically, if we use it at a level 2 spell slot, it's 2d8, and if we use it at a level 3, we get 3d8 plus my wisdom modifier. Okay. So we can probably add that to the list. I'm comfortable with that. Cure Wounds, level 1. We're not going to add all the stuff in right now, but we're just going to at least mark it down. Detect Magic. Druid, okay. For the duration, you sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. If you sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic, and you learn its school of magic, if any. The spell can penetrate most barriers, but is blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, and a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt. So, Detect Magic is up there. Next is detect poison and disease. For the duration, you can sense the presence of location of poisons, poisonous creatures, and diseases within 30 feet of you. You also can identify the kind of poison, poisonous creature, or disease in each case. That basically just tells you that there's poison there. I don't know. So, let's see what else we got. Entangle. Grasping weeds and vines sprout from the ground in a 20-foot square starting in the point within range. For the duration, these plants turn the ground into an area into difficult terrain. A creature in the area that you cast a spell must succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained by the entangled plants until the spell ends. A creature restrained by plants can use this action to make it... okay. It frees itself. Not super useful. Yeah, I don't think Entangle... Entangle might, but I don't think detect poison and disease as much. Fairy Fire. I have to remember that I have two powerful cantrips. So I might want to use some first levels of... I want to focus a little bit more on healing. Because if I have the cantrips that are really strong, you know what I mean? Because one of them is 2d12s, one of them is 2d8s. Fairy Fire. Each object within a 20-foot cube within range outlined in blue, green, or violet light, your choice. Any creature within that area, when the spell is cast, is also outlined in a light, and if it fails a dexterity saving throw. So it just changes, it gives them like a color around them. Speaking of poisoning, I love Toxicity. He was great in my 5th gym. I loved him, but I eventually pushed him out of my team. I used him a lot in like the first half of the game, and then I eventually was just like, nah. I got much cooler like Pokemon now, much stronger ones. So I eventually pushed him out, but I do really like his design, and I do like him as a Pokemon as well. Fog Cloud, probably not. 20-foot radius of fog. Obscured, meh. Okay. Goodberry. Up to 10 berries appear in your hand as they are infused with magic for the duration. A creature can use its action to eat 1 berry. Eating a berry restores 1 hit point, and the berry provides enough nourishment to sustain a creature for 1 day. So probably Goodberry. So right now I've got Cure Wounds, probably Detect Magic. We'll just mark these down so I don't forget. And then maybe Goodberry. There's also Healing Word coming up, so we're probably going to change Goodberry, but... Alright, so then we have Healing Word. I have Bird Dargon from Fossils. Yeah, what did I have? I had Drakovich from the Fossils. I combined 2 fossils. There's a fossilized drake and a fossilized fish, but I don't know if there's more fossils. That's the one I had. I have an extra one if you need it. I can always trade to you later. Healing Word. A creature of your choice that you can see within range regains hit points equal to 1d4 plus your spellcasting ability modifier. So 1d4 plus 4. No effect on undead or constructs. So Healing Word might be good too. Actually, let me put it in the little notepad here. So you have Healing Word, Goodberry, Home of the Goodberry, can I take your order? Detect Magic, and Cure Wounds. I can only have 4 of these. We've got a couple more. Let's check these out. There's a bird. Oh, there's another one. Jump. You touch a creature, the creature's jump distance is tripled. Nah. Ice Knife. Oh, I don't get Ice Knife. Ice Knife's not listed here. But I have Ice Knife in my... Oh, the book is from Xanathar's Guide to Everything. That's probably why. You create a shard of ice and fling it at a creature within range. Make a ranged spell attack against the target. On a hit, the target takes 1d10 piercing damage. Hit or miss, the shard then explodes on the target, and each creature within 5 feet must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or take 2d6 cold damage. That's the one that, and I think the bird was a sword exclusive. Oh. You get me an extra one, I'll send you the Drakovich. That might be a shield exclusive. Ice Knife isn't super bad. Long Strider. Touch a creature target speed increases by 10 feet. Meh, that stinks. Purify food and drink. Speak with animals. You gain the ability to comprehend and verbally communicate with the beasts for the duration of the knowledge, whereas a beast is limited by their intelligence, but at a minimum, beasts can give you information about nearby locations and monsters, including whatever they can perceive or have perceived in the past day. You might be able to persuade a beast to perform a small favor for you at the DM's discretion. Speak with animals makes a lot of sense to him as well. And Thunderwave is really sick. So, Thunderwave is a wave of thunderous force sweeps out from you. Each creature within a 15-foot cube originating from you must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes 2d8 thunder damage and is pushed 10 feet away from you. On a successful save, the creature takes half the damage. In addition, obscured objects that are completely within the area of the effect are automatically pushed 10 feet away from you by the spell's effect. The spell emits a thunderous boom audible out to 300 feet. Yes, because I had 2 options for combos with bird. I mean, there's 2 exclusive fossil poke. Interesting. So Thunder Wave. So, I can tell you right now, get out of your good berry. And then, let's see, Healing Word and Cure Wounds. I think Healing Word is weaker. Healing Word is 1d4 plus a spellcasting modifier. That's 1d4 plus 4. Cure Wounds is 1d8 plus 4. So I'll keep Cure Wounds, and that's what I'll have. I'll have Cure Wounds, Detect Magic, Speak with Animals, and Thunderwave. So let's up this. Detect Magic, Speak with Animals, and Thunderwave. These are all level 1. Weaker but range. That's true. You're very right. That's a good observation. Cure Wounds is touch. Healing Word is 60 feet, and I already have Healing Hands. As an action, you can touch a creature. So I can already touch somebody with the healing action. Maybe I should do Healing Word, because that way I actually have an option to heal somebody that I can touch and somebody within range. And Word can be a bonus. Healing Word is 1 bonus action, you're correct. And Cure Wounds is an action. You have swayed me. So then I will do Healing Word instead. Because like you said, because at higher levels, you can add a 1d4 to each spell slot. So in this case, if I did a 3rd level Healing Word, it would be 3d4 plus my spellcasting modifier. So question, Nom, would it be 1d4 plus 4 times 3? Or would it be 3d4 plus 4? You know what I'm saying? Stab the rat. Oh, stop dying, tank. Yeah. Okay, so we got those. Okay, so you do 3d4 plus 4. You wouldn't do 1d4 plus 4, 1d4 plus 4, 1d4 plus 4. So it wouldn't be a plus 12. It would be a 4 overall added to the 3d4. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, so we got 3 level 2s and 3 level 3s for the time being. Yeet! Alright. So then let's change the level from 1 to 2. And then let's look back at the player's handbook. Let's see what they tell us. They have Animal Messenger, Bark Skin, which I'm already have Bark Skin. I already have Dark Vision. Moonbeam, I want Moonbeam so freaking bad. Pass Without Trace is great though. Ugh. Heat Metal. I fear Heat Metal playing a Warforged made out of composite plating metal. I fear it. Flame Blade. Alright, so let's look at these. Animal Messenger. You can use an animal to deliver a message. Sure, that's the general sense. Beast Sense, I'm skipping Bark Skin, we already reviewed that. You touch a willing beast for the duration of the spell. You can use your action to see through the beast's eyes and hear what it hears, and continue to do so. Use your action to... Okay. Heat Metal is fun. Yeah, Heat Metal is fun, as long as it's not on me. Dark Vision, I already have Dark Vision. Dust Devil. What the heck is this? Choose an unoccupied 5-foot cube. Dust Devil's not on here. This is actually an Xanathar's Guide to Everything. Is for the book. An elemental evil player's companion for their source. Any elemental force that resembles a dust devil appears in the cube. For the spell's duration, any creature that ends with its turn within 5 feet of the dust devil must make a strength saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes a 1d8 bludgeoning damage and is pushed 10 feet away. As a bonus action, you can move the Dust Devil up to 30 feet in any direction. If the Dust Devil moves over sand, dust, loose dirt, or light gravel, it sucks up the material and forms 10-foot radius cloud of debris around itself and lasts until the... Oh my god, that becomes crazy large. Probably not. That's really funny, though. Earthbind, which again is Xanathar's and evil elemental evil. Basically just ensnares people. Okay. Enhance ability. You touch a creature to bestow upon it a magical enhancement. Following effects: bear's endurance. Target has advantage on constitution checks. It also gains 2d6 temporary hit points, which are lost when the spell ends. Bull's strength. The target has advantage on strength checks. His carry capacity doubles. Cat's Grace, advantage on dex. Also doesn't take damage from falling 20 feet or less. Eagle's Splendor, target has advantage on charisma. Fox Cunning, advantage on intelligence. Owl's Wisdom, advantage on wisdom. That's interesting. Find traps, meh. Flame Blade. You invoke a fiery blade in your free hand. The blade is similar in size and shape to a scimitar, and it lasts for the duration. If you let go of the blade, it disappears, but you can invoke the blade again as a bonus action. This is considered a bonus action to bring it up. You can use your action to make a melee spell attack with the fiery blade. On a hit, the target takes 3d6 fire damage. The flaming blade sheds a bright light of 10-foot radius and dim light an additional 10 feet. That's cool, but I have dark vision, and if I wanted to be more melee, this probably isn't the thing that I want. I mean, it could if I want to be more melee, but I'm trying to not be as melee. Flaming Sphere. This is one action. 5-foot diameter sphere of fire appears in an unoccupied space of your choice within range. It lasts for the duration. Any creature that ends its turn within 5 feet of the sphere must make a dexterity saving throw. The creature takes 2d6 fire damage on a failed save. It's a bonus action. You can move the sphere, blah, blah, blah. Nah. Gust of wind. Nah. Healing spirit. Call forth a nature spirit to soothe the wounded. The intangible spirit appears in a space of 5-foot cube. Spirit looks like a transparent beast or fae, your choice. Until the spell ends, whenever you or a creature you see moves into the spirit's space, for the first time it starts its turn there, you can cause the spirit to restore 1d6 points to that creature's spirit. Can't be healing constructs or undead. Our ranger had a little doggo. I would like a familiar. Was it just a regular dog, though? Not a familiar? Alright, heat metal. I might want to get heat metal. But I only have 3 slots, so... Heat metal as what it is. You heat metal. For healing spirit. Oh, okay. Hold person. Choose a humanoid you see within range. Target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be paralyzed for the duration. At the end of each of its turn, the target can make another wisdom saving throw. On a success, the spell ends on a target. Hold on. So let me check for paralyzation if you're paralyzed. Paralyzation. What am I saying? I'm actually looking up the rule book on my phone as well. Where are you? There you are. I usually have the ailments like right up front on my phone because I'm a monk. So if you're paralyzed, a paralyzed creature is incapacitated, cannot move or speak. The creature automatically fails strength and dexterity saving throws. Attack rolls against your creature have advantage. Any attack that hits a creature is a critical hit if the attacker is within 5 feet of the creature. You don't get hypnotic pattern. Yep, advantage on melee and auto crit. I don't see it. Yeah, I don't see hypnotic pattern. It could be in the other thing though that I'm looking at. Hold person. Yeah, at least we're not level 2. At least the sources that I have. It can incapacitate mobs. I just saw Critical Role use that. I'm really behind. I'm only on like episode 36, but I just saw them use it in their last episode that I watched. So hold person is good. So let me write these down. So we're looking at heat metal, hold person, it's level 3 spell. Maybe it'll show up in my app. Because this is just the player's handbook, so maybe it's good, maybe it's in like Xanathar's or something. Lesser restoration. Blind, deafened, paralyzed, poisoned. Locate animals or plants. Locate object. Moonbeam. I want Moonbeam so bad. A silvery beam of pale light shines down in a 5-foot radius in a 40-foot high cylinder centered on a point within range. Until the spell ends, dim light fills the cylinder. When a creature enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there, it is engulfed in a ghostly flames that cause searing pain, and it must make a Constitution saving throw. It takes 2d10 radiant damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. A shapeshifter makes its saving throw with disadvantage. If it fails, it also instantaneously reverts to its original form. It cannot assume a different form until it leaves the spell's light. Moonbeam! Pass Without Trace is really good too. So Spike growth is fun also. All right, so right now, warding wind. What's this? Nah, that's fine. Okay, so I have 4 for my level 3. I have heat metal, hold person, moonbeam, and pass without trace. So it's coming down to hold person or heat metal. I was just looking for a circus song and I found one. It's called Circus Tent. Oh, jeez. I think I'm going to pass on Moonbeam. Oh, Moonbeam. I want you so bad. I'm going to throw out Moonbeam. Okay. I can only use it at night. Alright, so Heat Metal. I have to remember that I have 2 cantrips. One is 2d8. One is 2d12. So realistically, those are pretty strong in regards to attacking. That's flames, and that's poison. I get it. What if they're strong against those? But those are 2. I have Thunder Wave, and I have Shillelagh if I need to do any type of that's 1d8. My Pitchfork is 1d6 bludgeoning, but if I transfer it to a Shillelagh, it ends up becoming 1d8 magical. But, I mean, Pass Without Trace is a +10 on stealth checks. Hold person, I can hold somebody down. And Heat Metal, I can make him maybe drop their weapon. I mean, these are definitely more utility than attacking, but I think I'm okay with that. Flame Blade was like 2d6. So, I mean, I can already use a cantrip and I can do flame, like fire damage, and it's already possibly more than that. So, yeah, I'm already going to have Dark Vision. I already have Bark Skin. Because the land that I have, I'm going to have Bark Skin, Spider Climb, Call Lightning, and Plant Growth. So I already have that. And then because I'm an Azamar, I have Dark Vision, Healing Hands, Light Bearer, and Radiant Soul. Radiant Soul, starting at 3rd level, you can use your action to unleash divine energy within yourself, causing your eyes to glimmer, and 2 luminous incorporeal wings sprout from your back. Your transformation lasts a minute or until you end it. As a bonus action during this, you have a flying speed of 30 feet, and on each of your turns, you can deal extra radiant damage to one target when you deal damage to it with an attack or a spell. The extra radiant damage equals to your level. So it's 6. Once you use this trait, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. That's Radiant Soul. Light Bearer, you know the light cantrip. Charisma is your spellcasting ability. Healing Hands, you already discussed that. Celestial resistance to necrotic and radiant damage. Dark Vision, we all know what Dark Vision is. So, I mean, I think I'm comfortable with having these utility for level 2s. So, finally, ooh, I just got the shivers. Call Lightning. So we have to pick 3. I should say we should settle on 3 level 3 spell slots, and then we'll be done for the night. So let's filter this to level 3, take off level 2. Call Lightning, and we read this earlier. 3d10 lightning damage on a failed save. Basically control a cloud of thunder. Conjure animals. You summon face spirits to take the form of beasts that appear in an occupied space. You can see within range. Choose one of the following options for what appears. 1 beast of a challenge rating of 2 or lower. 2 beasts of challenge rating of 1 or lower. 4 beasts of the challenge rating of half or lower. 8 beasts of a challenge rating of 1/4 or lower. Each beast is considered fey, and it disappears when it drops to 0 points or when the spell ends. The summoned creatures are friendly to you and your companions. Roll initiative for the summoned creatures as a group. which has its own turns. They obey any verbal commands that you issue to them. No action is required by you. If you don't issue any commands to them, they defend themselves from hostile creatures but otherwise take no actions. The DM has the creature's statistics. When you cast a spell using certain higher level spell slots, summoning creatures above, the more creatures appear, twice as many with a 5th level slot, 3 times as many with 7, and 4 times as many as a 9th. So, aka you want to piss your DM off, use Conjure Animals. Conjure Animals is going to be definitely something that Zygon would use. Especially since he knows that they'll be fey and they're not going to be real animals. He would feel more comfortable having animals fight on his behalf. Because if it was real animals going and putting themselves in the line for him, he probably wouldn't do that. So Daylight. 60-foot radius sphere spreads out from a point that you choose within range. Choose a point. Worn or carried. Okay, so basically it's... Yeah, that's fine. Okay, Dispel Magic. You need Dispel Magic. I don't care what you say. Dispel Magic is number 2. Not even going to read that. Erupting Earth. It's not listed here. Xanathar is an elemental evil. You could choose a point that you can see in the ground within range. A fountain of churned earth and stones erupt in a 20-foot cube centered on a point. Each creature within that area makes a dexterity saving throw. A creature takes 3d12 bludgeoning damage on a failed save, or half as much on a save. Additionally, the ground in that area becomes difficult terrain until cleared. Each 5-foot square portion of the area requires at least 1 minute to clear by hand. I can see him using that for his farm. We'll put that in the back of our mind. Feign Death. You touch a willing creature and put into a cataleptic state that is indistinguishable from death. No. Flame Arrows. You touch a quiver containing arrows or bolts when the target is hit by a ranged weapon attack. Well, I'm not going to be carrying bolts, so we can nix that. Meld into stone, we read that one earlier. Plant growth, we actually have. Protection from energy. For the duration, the willing creature you touch has resistance to 1 damage type of your choice. Okay. Sleet Storm. Until the spell ends, freezing rain and sleet fall from a 20-foot tall cylinder with a 40-foot radius centered on a point you choose within range. The area heavily obscured, and the exposed flames in the area are doused. The ground of the area is covered with slick ice, making it difficult terrain. When creatures enter the spell area for the first time on the turn, or starts a turn there, it must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, it falls prone. If a creature is concentrating on the spell's area, the creature must make a successful Constitution saving throw against your spell save or lose concentration. So that just creates difficult terrain. Falling prone isn't good because the only thing that can benefit falling prone is if you're 5 feet on top of the creature, then you get advantage. If they're prone and you're further than 5 feet, you have disadvantage on attacking them. So we'll pass on that. Speak with plants. You imbue plants with 30 feet within you to limited sentience and animation, giving them the ability to communicate with you and follow your simple commands. You can question plants. Okay. Plants perform the tasks on their own behalf at the DM's discretion. You can turn difficult terrain caused by plant growth, such as thickened or overgrowth, into ordinary terrain. Tidal wave. You conjure up a wave that crashes down in an area within range. The area can be up to 30 feet long and 10 feet wide and 10 feet tall. Each creature in the area must make a dexterity saving throw, and on a failed save, creature takes 4d8 bludgeoning damage and is knocked prone. On a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage and isn't knocked prone. The water then spreads out across the ground in all directions, extinguishing unprotected flames in an area. So that one's kind of cool. So Tidal Wave is cool. I'm also trying to think of like different elements. So I've got poison, I've got fire. Tidal wave would be water if I stick with that. Wall of water. You can create a wall of water on the ground at a point you see within range. Make the wall up to 30 feet long, 10 feet high, 20 feet in diameter, 20 feet high, 1 foot thick. Okay. Water breathing. Spell grants up to 10 willing creatures that you can see within range the ability to breathe underwater until the spell ends. Affected creatures also retain their normal mode of respiration. Water walk. The spell grants the ability to move across a liquid surface. Yeah, we read that earlier. Wind wall. Okay, so I think this is what we're going to pick. We're going to pick our 3 for our final spells for level 6, which is going to be Conjure Animals, Dispel Magic, and Tidal Wave. I think that's what we're going to do. We'll save for now. So right now, this is what we have for our spells. So naturally, as Zygon is going to be Circle of the Land, which is going to be Forest. Might as well add that in there. We're going to, for level 3, we're going to have Bearskin and Spider Climb. And then at level 5, we're going to have Call Lightning and Plant Growth. So I already have a lightning move, right? So in our spell list, for our cantrips, we have Mending, Poison Spray. So we have a good poison attack that's going to be... it's going to be 2d12 for poison damage, which is great. And then we have Produce Flame as a cantrip, which, since I'm at level 6, is going to be 2d8 damage. So we're going to have Poison. We're going to have Fire. We have Lightning, so we have Call Lightning. So you have Lightning. And then our 4th cantrip is Shillelagh. Then for our 4 level 1 slots, we're going to have Healing Word, so it's a distance healing. Detect Magic. Speak with Animals, so we can use them. And then Thunder Wave, another thunder attack. Then our level 2s is going to be Heat Metal, Hold Person, and Pass Without Trace. Level 3 is going to be Conjure Animals, Dispel Magic, and Tidal Wave. So we're going to have a water one. So we're going to have Water, Poison, 2 Lightning, and 1 Fire elemental attacks. And then in addition to that, when I'm using Radiant Soul, when I turn into a celestial being, I will do radiant damage. I have resistant to necrotic damage and radiant damage. And let's see, we have our armor, we have our wooden shield. We have our backstory. I'll clean up these. I'll also fill up these. I guess I can fill up these Druid Circle features. Since we're level 6, we should be lawful good. What do you say? Because his parents were like, Zygon, you stay here, be a good boy, take care of the farm. And he was like, Zygon's gonna take care of the farm, Mom, Pa. Don't you worry, everything will be spit, spot, and clean and taken care of by the time you come back. And then they ruffled his hair and then they left. So he followed, and he was obedient with orders, and he would probably continue to take that on in his adult adventuring life. So I'll make him lawful good. Passive perception and insight. Let's double check those. Persuasion, survival, medicine, insights +4 +3. Right. No. Passive perception, passive insight. Insight, so that's 14. Passive perception. So these are 14, not 15. That might have been when I had it listed as 20. So that's good. AC is 15. Because my leather armor is 11 plus my dex mod, which is 2, so that's 13. My shield gives me 2, so that's 15. My initiative 2, which is my dex mod. My hit dice is 68 because I'm level 6. My pitchfork, let's add the shillelagh in here. And let's see, the shillelagh says for the duration, your spellcasting ability instead of strength, the attack melee uses weapon and the weapon's damage die becomes a d8. It's magical. So this is going to be 1d8 magical. And it's going to be a +7, so you can see that at the bottom. No. For the duration, use your spellcasting ability instead of strength. So, I'm assuming I'd be proficient in this. So it would be a 4 plus my proficiency, which would be 3, so it would be a +7. But this is a cantrip, so I could only do one cantrip at a time. So if I had pulled out the shillelagh as a bonus action and I tried a poison spray, I'd lose a shillelagh. So, alright, so let's add in these Druid circle features, and then we can finish. Wild shape, we also have to add that in too. Max CR. So max CR is going to be 1/2. Because we're level 6, so we're in between. And then let's go add the Druid circle features. Circle the land forest. Alright, so this is where we're going to add some of these things. So bonus cantrip. I might not even add this here, because if I only have one level 2, let's see what the other one was. Natural recovery. I'd much rather have that in there. If I only have one slot here for level 2. Natural recovery. I don't think I have to fit this in, but let's see if I can. Okay, I can. Why not? Alright. Circle spells. Your mystical connection in the land infuses you with the ability to cast certain spells, the 3rd, 5th, and 7th, and 9th. This is what I want to add, so we don't have to worry about that. Actually, I should probably put this somewhere. We're doing forest. 6, 10, 14. Okay, so... let's just add them down here. Okay. So then that way I don't have to go back and search what spells I'm supposed to get when I reach a certain level. So next we got to do the Druid Circle feature for level 6, which is down here. Landstride. I actually didn't even read this. Starting at 6th level, moving through non-magical difficult terrain costs you no extra movement. You can also pass through non-magical planes without being slowed by them, without taking damage from them, if they are thorns, spines, or similar hazards. In addition, you have advantage on saving throws against plants that are magically created to manipulate or impede movement, such as those created by the Entangle spell. Alright. Level 10. Nature's Ward. When you reach level 10, you can't be charmed or frightened by elementals or fae. You are immune to poison and disease. So it's kind of similar to the monks. Okay, that's good. Level 14. Nature's Sanctuary. When you reach level 14, creatures of the natural world sense your connection to nature and become hesitant to attack you. When a beast or plant creature attacks you, the creature must make a wisdom saving throw against your druid spell save DC. On a failed save, the creature must choose a different target, or the attack automatically misses. On a successful save, the creature is immune to this effect for 24 hours. The creature is aware of this effect before it makes its attack against you. So it's Sanctuary, basically. It's a Sanctuary spell. I know the the monk has this one, and it becomes active for 24 hours, and it's a start of like every day. It's really awesome. Did I just add? I guess I'm just doing so many like natures where there's a bunch of ridiculous spaces in between. I keep thinking I already documented it. Alright, center this up as best I can. Looks great. Timeless body at level 18. For every 10 years that pass, your body ages only 1 year. It doesn't really matter because I mean the Azamar lived to be 160 years, so I'm gonna look young for a while. Level 18 beast spells. You can carry many of your druid spells. You can cast many of your druid spells when in wild shape. You can perform the somatic and verbal you could perform the components while in beast shape, but you aren't able to provide material components. Archdruid level 20. You can wild shape in a limited number of times. You just live being a bear. Okay, so now we just need to know how many wild shapes we can do, and I think it's 2. Druid circles, ability score, druid circle. Both detailed at the end of the class description. Okay, no. Beast spells, beginning at level 18. Oh. No, I just read that. Okay. Beast shapes. Here we go. Starting at the second level, you can use your action to magically assume the shape of a beast that you have seen before. You can use this feature twice. You regain the expanded uses once you finish your short or long rest. Your druid level determines the beast you can transform into. So there's beast shapes table. At second level, for example, you can okay, so it's twice. You can stay in the number of beast. Okay, so it's your level rounded down. You then revert to your number form. Yeah, so it's 2. So it's 2. And I think that's it. Other than me filling in spell slots, but other than that, we did it. We have the U. The U wand is my druidic focus. We got the Explorer's pack. We already talked about the Azamar stuff. On the Protector Azamar. So if I'll define that because I didn't read this portion. Protector Azamars are charged with the powers of good to guard the weak, to strike at evil whenever it arises, to stand vigilant against the darkness. From a young age, a Protector Azamar receives advice and directives that urge to stand against evil. So Zygon's backstory is more or less that, like, he's going to be talking to things in his head. He's going to think that, like, was just, like, him talking to himself, but it's really going to be a celestial being that he's been talking to this whole time. He won't find that out till later. And yeah, so we got our items, we got our weapons. You'll have a pitchfork. We got our AC. We got all of our stats, our proficiencies added. We refused to take the level 4 ability score improvement because we ended up taking a level 4 feat, which is skilled, so we gained 3 additional proficiencies on top of what we are already proficient with. And I think that's it. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. I've been doing this for about 4 hours now, almost on the dot, 4:01 now, if you want to not count my intro. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. If you're interested in seeing more of this stuff, let me know. I'm really, really loving a lot of Dungeons & Dragons stuff. And any opportunity that I have to talk about Dungeons & Dragons, I jump towards it. While this channel is more or less me showing off different video games, the art style of these games, talking about the history and the information, and as well as playing it and providing my own silly color commentary on video games. I wouldn't mind doing something like this in the future as long as other people are interested. So let me know. It doesn't have to be on this video. You can find me all over social media or in my Discord or anything like that. But yeah, again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time.